3 weeks into district play, the Canyon Cougars find themselves in the mix for a playoff spot in District 27-6A. And with only 4 games remaining in the regular season, the margin for error will only continue to shrink. Tonight, the Cougars travel south on I-35 to Schertz, Texas, to take on the Steele Knights. An annual Texas State power off to a slow start this year, but hoping for a strong close to the season that will propel them into the playoffs. It's the Canyon Cougars and the Steele Knights coming up next here on the Cougars Network. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Lehnoff Stadium on the campus of Clemens High School in Schertz, Texas. I am Ben Campos, joined by my broadcast partner this evening, Roland Ruiz. The governor, Austin Milam, is our spotter statistician. Well, Roland, I mentioned this in the pregame. The margin for error for these Canyon Cougars ever shrinking as the weeks go by. They find themselves at 1-2 in district play, part of the logjam that is the final playoff spots in district. They played a great game versus Clemens last week, but Roland, you have to start putting the pieces together if you're going to want to pull out some of these close football games.
That's true. One thing we talked about pre-game is, the margin of error. Yes, error is still occurring, and at inopportune times for Canyon. However, as you had pointed out, which is very true, they have gone from an average before district of, say, 6 penalties for about 60 yards all the way down to 4 for about 40 per game. And maybe if this trend continues, and we've got to hope that it does, they can cut down on the penalties and, capitalize on some of these big offensive plays that they are indeed putting out.
A couple of times throughout the year, we have seen those penalties actually take points off the board in some scenarios. So nice to see that trend at least going in the right direction. We were mentioning also in our production meeting that they've had opportunities to score the football late in ball games, moving the ball well, getting into the red zone, and then stalling out. It hurts when you did not have production from Owen Worley, who sat out last game versus Clemens, but in his place we saw Nathan Colbreth come in, and he was one of the bright spots last week.
Absolutely. Nathan Colbreth, as you mentioned, and just a junior, as I understand, and what an output he had last week, showing a lot of, not necessarily authority, but a lot of confidence in running the football, which is going to be real big for Coach Muchagamba's staff.
He had 10 carries for 36 yards and 2 catches out of the backfield for 20 yards. Another young man on this Canyon football team who we saw a lot of last week versus Clemens, and we hope that this trend continues, is the young sophomore Callan Farr. Had the best game of his young career last week, 7 catches for 61 yards.
Absolutely, and the thing I'm liking about Callan Farr, what's going on with him, what I'm seeing, is that they're going to him. He's more of a go-to receiver right now. He's kind of the one that's being counted on to get those big yards, to make that catch, and it's just like, well, we can set our watch to Callan Farr because he's going to be there to bring in the big catch when we need it.
7 catches and even more targets last week versus Clemens. Let's go to the other side of the football, Roland, and talk about this Cougar defense. We've talked very much this year about Eric Taylor and Fabian Facundo and Zach Fansteel, rightly so. But how about the game Vance McKay had last week? Led the team in tackles with 7 versus the Buffalo.
You've got to love what Vance McKay is doing on the defensive side of the football. I mean, not only that, in the return game on special teams as well, we've seen Vance shine. He certainly did have a big outing last week. We're going to need more of that from Vance and from the likes of the defense to be able to stop this Steele team that we're up against tonight.
Really like what we saw last week versus Clemens. Of course, that first, and this has been the theme of the year, Roland. Early in the ball game, Clemens had a big play, and then off the bat, 68 yards for a touchdown on the ground. But after that, the Cougar defense really barreled down and made it tough sledding for the Buffaloes. Only 21 points after that. So you're starting to see this theme where this defense is playing tough and making teams earn everything.
Absolutely, and the key there is focus. The Canyon defense did not lose their focus. They stuck with it. A lot of times an opening play like that would have taken the wind out of the other team, and it'd just be that, let's just get through this game and move on to the next one. We see what this team's going to do. Not so for Canyon last week. They stuck to their guns, they maintained their focus, and they actually made a game out of it.
Let's talk about tonight's opponent, the Steele Knights. Some might say this is a down football team. They come into this game 2-4, had lost 4 straight before beating New Braunfels last week, 26-3. Roland, perhaps not playing up to Steele standard, but when you look at their losses, they've played a very difficult schedule so far this year.
That's true, and as you mentioned, I mean, those losses came at the hands of tough teams district-wise. You throw Smithson Valley in there as well, and, of course, an always tough Judson team that they had to face thus far this season. That's just in district play. But I think you said the key thing right there. It is the Steele Knights. There is a tradition, albeit not as long and storied as, say, some of these other high school football programs, yet it's just kind of synonymous with winning as it has been over the last several years.
Division I talent all over this football team, from the offensive line to the receivers on the outside to the backfield, from the defensive line to the linebackers and the secondary. 3 out of the 4 members of the secondary will be playing in the Big 12 next year when their college comes. So a lot of talent on this Steele team. Now, one thing to note here, the quarterback that had been for Steele this year, Onyx Smith, has been somewhat demoted. He's still in the starting lineup, but now moved over to the wide receiver. So, Roland, something unique. We will see a freshman quarterback starting tonight. Wyatt Beagle will take the snaps under center for Steele.
As you mentioned, he came in the second half of that New Braunfels game for Steele and did a great job moving the football. You see him out there on the field. Nothing about Wyatt Beagle resembles a freshman. He's a big kid, 179 pounds. This will be his first start. But another thing that you had mentioned is Onyx Smith. Okay, you're taking him away from the quarterback position, but you're putting him out on an end. That kind of adds another weapon to the arsenal.
He is a 2-year starter at wide receiver before switching over to quarterback this year. That's Roland Ruiz. I'm Ben Campos with the Washington Bear, Austin Milam, our spotter statistician. We are pregame between leading you up to tonight's ballgame between the Canyon Cougars and the Steele Knights. Earlier in the week, Brant Freeman had a chance to sit down with Cougar head coach Joe Muchagimba and talk about what he expects out of tonight's ballgame. We'll step aside here on our pregame coverage. When we come back, we'll bring you Brant and Coach Muchagimba's conversation. You're listening to Canyon Football across the Cougars Network.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
Where Zaxby's is from, everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And now you'll like it even more because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
We are back in the studios here of Cougar Football with Joe Muchagimba. Now looking ahead to Friday's game against the Steele Knights, and you talk about misleading records, maybe the most misleading record of all of Texas high school football. The Knights come in 2-4 and 1-2 in 27-6A play. But Coach, we're not fooled. This is an extremely good football team.
They're a very good football team.
Yeah.
You know, defensively they're really stout. You know, they've been pretty good on defense for a while now, and offensively they're good. I think they're still trying to figure some things out over there personnel-wise on who they want where and who they want their big playmakers to be. But there's no question they're going to bring a good football team into the stadium.
And you have to consider who they've played so far this season. They've played Lake Travis, O'Connor, Smithson Valley, and Judson already, so really stiff competition. This past week, they snapped their losing streak with a win over New Braunfels. You look at the offense for Steele. Onyx Smith is as athletic as a quarterback as you'll find in the area, converted from wide receiver a year ago. And then Brendan Brady in the backfield is a load to take down. What do they like to do on offense?
Well, exactly what you said. You know, they like to get it in those two guys' hands, and then they like to throw it upfield to those receivers. You know, they put their, they've got some good receivers, but they'll use a Stearns kid, the kid that plays safety back there for them too, and they'll yank it up there to him a little bit, and he's got the ability to go up and get it. So they're big up front, offensive line. They're going to try to push you around and mash you around, kind of bully you, if you will. they're just very solid with what they're doing. They're not going to try to trick you. They're going to give it to their guys and see what you can do with them.
Yeah, 4 returning starters on the offensive line, several of them 6'2", 290 plus, so really big up front. You look at the defense. You mentioned Stearns, who is a Texas commit. In fact, 3 of the 4 players in the secondary will be playing in the Big 12 this time next year. This can be a tough defense to move the football against. Aston Broncos last week, only 3 points. How do you go about doing that?
Well, you know, they're a good football team, but, you know, they're still high school football players, you know. I mean, we got to get in there and fight and claw and push and do whatever we got to do to move the football. You know, we've been running the ball again fairly decent, and I think that's a big part of what we've got to do. We've got to be able to manage the front 4, you know, and take it from there.
Both teams, again, 1 and 2 in 27 6A play. The room for error, there isn't any at this stage of the season. Does it feel like a playoff game?
Every time you tee it up in this district, it feels like a playoff game. I mean, that's the type of people that you're playing, the same type that you would play when and if you get into playoffs.
And finally, Coach, what are the keys can you break down for us ahead of the game on Friday?
Well, you know, it's kind of repetitive, but, you know, keep them from getting a big play. You know, make them earn it. If they want to score, then make them drive it down the field. Make them have an 8, 10, 12 play drive or give yourself a chance to maybe put them behind the chains or create a turnover or a penalty, something to get them off schedule a little bit. And defensively, manage it. You know, manage the ball, keep the ball a little bit. You know, keep it away from them some. Make some first downs and see where it takes us from there. And of course, get down the red zone, convert, put some points on the board.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Friday.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Whether you're out at the beach or chilling poolside, the summer heat is here and Music Choice is turning it up. Chill out with the latest music from your favorite kids artists and more. Your music lives here on Music Choice.
Hey guys, it's Sophia Carson here. Check out all of my music videos available on Music Choice On Demand. Available on GVTC. Just go to Free On Demand and select Music Choice.
And welcome back to Lehnoff Stadium. The teams have made their way onto the field and have retreated to their respective sidelines as we will have the national anthem momentarily. It's a game tonight that's pitting 2 teams that are left in a logjam for that 4th and final playoff spot in the district standings. Steele coming into tonight's ball game 1 and 2 in district and 2 and 4 overall. The Cougars also 1 and 2 in district, 1 and 5 overall. Looking at your 27 6A standings in district, Clemens on top, along with Judson and Smithson Valley, all 3 of those teams undefeated. And then the logjam we talked about, rolling New Braunfels, Steele, and Canyon, all 3 at 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As you were mentioning, though, 27 6A, what a district. And we'll have to see how it shakes out. This is where the fun begins.
The winner of tonight's ball game will have a nice inside track to hopefully securing a playoff spot, and we hope that's for the Canyon Cougars. Right now, the ROTC cadets from Steele High School are presenting the colors, and the Steele Marching Band will have our national anthem. That's our cue to wrap up pregame coverage here at Lehnoff Stadium. When we come back, kick off tonight's ball game between Canyon and Steele. You're listening to Cougars Network.
Well, I don't think so. It's a good deal, right?
Coach, this is a 2538, 37 horsepower, most lift capacity of any tractor in its class, and no depth fluid.
Well, the best part is it's the right color.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
Welcome back to Schertz, Texas, Lehnoff Stadium on the campus of Schertz High School. It's a stadium used, Clemens High School. It's a stadium used by both Clemens and Steele. The midfield logo is the Shirt Cibolo Universal City ISD logo. The end zone to our west is black with Steele printed in gray letters. The end zone to our east is blue with Clemens in gold letters in that end zone. And Cougars come into tonight's ball game wearing their road jerseys, red pants, white jerseys with red numbers, white helmets with the red interlocking CC on either side. Steele tonight in their home jerseys, white pants, black top, gray numbers, black helmet, gray bar down the middle with the player's jersey number on the left side of the helmet and the Steele logo on the right. So, Roland, beautiful night here for high school football. A little muggy for my take in October, but nonetheless, beautiful night in Schertz, Texas.
Absolutely. As you were mentioning, 77 degrees right now at kickoff here in beautiful Schertz, Texas, the gem of the Schertz Cibolo Converse Microplex here in
I've never heard it put that way.
The beautiful area between New Braunfels and San Antonio. Absolutely. But, yeah, be a perfect night. It's been a little overcast all day long. I couldn't tell if we were having the threat of rain or not, but no wet stuff seems to be in the area. Just cloudy skies and a very pleasant evening for some high school football.
Jacob Martinez has the ball teed up for the Cougars. They will kick off to start tonight's ball game, and deep receiving for Steele. Waiting on the near side at the 10-yard line is number 2, Caden Stearns. And on the far side, I believe that's Braden Brady. Martinez sends this one high and short. Stearns will take it at the 15 on the near sideline, turning it up the middle across the 20-yard line, brought down from behind. No, spins out of a tackle at the 25 to the 30. Making first contact was Marcel Chisel, unable to bring down Stearns at the 20. And he'll fall forward to the 31-yard line where it will be first down and 10 for young freshman quarterback Wyatt Beagle, the 179-pound freshman.
You know, you're mentioning Caden Stearns. He leads the team in kickoff returns, 115 yards thus far on the season. Just one of the bright spots for this Steele Knight squad.
One of many. He is one of the Division I talents taking will take his talents to the University of Texas next year to play for Coach Tom Herman and the Texas Longhorns. First and 10 on the opening possession for Steele at their own 30-yard line. Beagle with the zone read fake will go down the sideline. Ball is caught into Cougar territory across the 40 and the 35. Ran out of bounds. And I believe that is 16 Daniel Jackson. Or 13, that is 13 Onyx Mix, making the catch for Steele.
And that's what we were mentioning. That opens up a whole new weapon for Steele, having him at wide receiver.
First and 10 Steele now in Canyon territory at the Cougar 30. The zone read is faked. Beagle will take it to the far sideline, trying to turn the corner. He's corralled down. Making the tackle, Zach Fansteel from the free safety position.
Zach Fansteel, another big night. Of course, Zach leads the Cougar defense in tackles, 31 thus far on the year. And you see why there. Just good pursuit by Zach.
Second down and 9 for Steele. 2 receivers here to the near side. One to the far. Out of the pistol look. Handoff given to Brady. Goes up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, but unable to get past the line of scrimmage. That's good pursuit tackling from 3 or 4 Cougars defensively.
You know, Brandon Brady, as we were talking about before the game, the senior running back, he leads the Steele Knight offensive running game with 749 yards thus far this season on the year. He's picking up almost 150 yards a game.
After the big play in the first play of this ball game, Canyon has buckled down defensively, forcing a 3rd and 9. Bat to pass is Beagle. Looking down the field, he'll tuck it and run. Coming to the near side across the 30 and the 25, trying to turn the corner and does. He might have enough for a first down at the 20-yard line. Depends on the spot. He needed to get to the 20. It's just going to depend where the referees put it down.
You know, Ben, we were mentioning that Beagle doesn't look like a freshman. Well, he obviously doesn't play like one either. He just a great composure back there in the pocket and knew when to take off and just where to get out of bounds to pick up the first down.
Needed 9, got 9, so this possession will continue for Steele. First and 10 now at the Cougar 20. Ace formation with 2 tight ends out of the eye, under center. Beagle takes it, hands off to Brady, right side of the line, 15, 10, 5, into the end zone, touchdown Steele. Brendan Brady from 20 yards out puts Steele on the board on their opening possession. You know, Roland, what impressed me is oftentimes you don't want to put your freshman quarterback in a position that he's uncomfortable in, and you don't see this very often at all, under center for a quarterback that's used to being out of the gun.
And that is huge, and he just looked good on that first offensive drive, very confident.
Matthew O'Brien on to tempt the extra point. The left footer has this ball up, and good. 10:26 left to go in the opening period. Our score, Steele 7, Canyon 0. We'll step aside. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
That is going to go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC, Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
Just underway here, first quarter, 10:26 left to go, and the Steele Knights have drawn first blood, sending the running back Brendan Brady up for about a 20-yard touchdown run. As we were mentioning, he does lead the team in rushing, and right there was a good example why.
5-play, 70-yard drive. A drive where the Cougar defense had Steele at 3rd and 9, and the freshman quarterback Wyatt Beagle able to get 9 on that play to keep the drive alive. Takes a minute and a half off the clock, and a Steele is on the board courtesy of a run by Brendan Brady. Matthew O'Brien with the ball teed up for Steele. Sends this one driving kickoff, and will go out of the back of the end zone as Facundo just lets that bounce through. Well, the Cougars need to respond here on their opening offensive possession. Roland, it'll be our first look at Xavier Perez, the 5'11", 185-pound junior Cougar quarterback, coming into tonight's ball game, 57% completion rate with a 3-2 touchdown interception ratio.
That's right, 78% quarterback rating, a quarterback rating of 78. He's had a very, very solid season to this point, and of course, he's able to move that football quickly on their drives.
Moving right to left, the Cougars, 1st and 10 from their own 25. Out of the gun, Perez gets it, hands it off to Haney, who'll go up the middle, some running room there, shy of the 30 to the 29 on a gain of 4.
That's good that they can get Haney started and get that running game going. That may be a huge help. Well, it absolutely will turn out to be a huge help for the Cougar offense.
Cougars bat to the line as Perez is looking to the far sideline for a play. Haney settles into the right of Perez, 2 receivers to the far side. Handoff to Haney with the burst of speed off that right side of the Cougar line across the 30 to the 31. Minimum gain before being hit. So 3rd and manageable here, 3rd and 4.
Zion Ruffin, the junior linebacker, came over to make the stop on Haney.
9:40 left to go, opening period. Canyon down 7-0. Their opening possession of the ball game, facing 3rd and 4. Play clock now down to 20. So Cougars kind of taking their time here. Fake slap of the hands, and the Cougars will change up the play. Perez shouts out instructions to the offensive line, retreats back to the shotgun. Has it, handoff to Haney, makes a move at the line of scrimmage, comes forward, and will not have enough for a first down. Shy by about 2 yards down to the 33. It'll be 4th and 2.
A stifling defense that time by Steele held Seth Haney to, not quite a sizable gain, just a couple of yards. He was short of the first down, so that'll bring up 4th down and apparently a punting situation for the Canyon Cougars.
Late substitution is now the punting team comes on and the offense goes off. Jacob Martinez in deep punt, as 2 Steele Knights are in deep receiving at their own 35. Caden Stearns is one of them here to the near side. High punt by Martinez. Stearns will take it at the 32. Going to the far side with a couple of blocks across the 30-40. Now into Cougar territory at the 35-30. One man to beat the kicker. Kicker will not get to him. Caden Stearns will go into the end zone. Touchdown, Steele on the punt return of 68 yards.
As we were mentioning, 115 yards on kickoff returns for Caden Stearns. He is an offensive weapon. Does a great job on the defensive side of the football for the Steele Knights as well. But that was quick. That was all set up by a great block thrown by the receiver who was back with Caden to receive that punt.
I was wondering if the Cougar coaching staff would even elect to kick to them, just kick it out of bounds and minimize the explosive plays in the kicking game. And we saw that first punt of the game, already a touchdown return for Caden Stearns. Matthew O'Brien on for Steele, attempts the extra point. This one up and through. 8:22 left to go in the opening period. Our new score, Steele 14, Canyon 0. We'll step aside. You're listening to Cougar Football on the Cougars Network.
Horrifying, gruesome, and edible. Another epic season of Halloween Wars. Master food artists scare up their most spine-tingling creations.
If I want to put this on my mantle.
As long as they don't get spooked first.
Oh my God.
All new Halloween Wars, Sunday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
People were saying that this is a down Steele team, but Roland, as we are barely 4 minutes into this ball game, that this is anything but a downtrodden Steele team.
No, they know it's time for district play and know it's time to flip that light switch on to become the Steele Knights again, and that's apparently what they're looking like thus far this evening. 8:22 left to go in the first quarter, and the Knights out to a 14-0 lead.
O'Brien with the ball teed up again. It's a high, spinning, short kickoff as Facundo will take it at the goal line, coming near side across the 15 before being hit by 3 Knights and driven out of bounds. So Cougars will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 15. Poor field position here. Second look at this Cougar offense tonight in Roland. If you're looking for how Canyon could stop the bleeding here, one, you can't go 3 and out offensively, but 2, you got to take more time off the clock and try to limit the number of possessions that are going to be in this ball game.
That was a good point. Maybe not the hurry-up offense tonight like we've seen normally from Canyon.
2 running backs in the backfield with Perez. Owen Worley, good to see him back, is to his left, Haney to his right, as they now shift it up. Little offset I formation look. Perez has it. Hand off to Haney up the middle, has some running room across the 20-yard line. Flag comes in late, and we'll see where they spot the ball. They do give him forward progress to the 20, but the Washington Bear rolling, giving me indications that this might be a face mask penalty.
It'll be interesting to check the call. Looks like Shane Sampson with the stop for Steele on that play. Senior defensive tackle. See if we're getting any indication right now from the. There he is.
He was right, the Washington Bear. A 15-yard face mask penalty will be tacked on to the end of the run. So give 5 to Seth to the 20, add another 15. That will bring the ball out to the Cougar 35-yard line and a first down via penalty. Break there for Canyon. First and 10 Cougars moving right to left. 2 receivers stacked on the near side. Callan far behind Lane Young. In the backfield, Haney and Worley. Worley slotted out in a fullback look to the right. Handoff fake to Haney. Back to pass his Xavier. He's in trouble. He heaves it to the near sideline, intended for Callan Farr. And that is over the head. Roland Farr was there, but I get the feeling that's just Xavier trying to get rid of the football more than anything.
Yeah, Xavier looking for his go-to receiver in Farr there, but as you were mentioning, pressure coming from that Steele defense, especially from that Steele front line.
7:45 left to go, opening period. Steele up 14-0, Canyon driving at their own 35. Send Farr in motion, they fake it to him and give it to Seth up the middle. Has some running room on the right side of that Cougar line, tripped up as he gets to the 40-yard line, so another gain of 5 for Seth.
Good call, nice hole there in the middle for Seth Haney to get through. Nice pickup as well, so it'll bring up a third, as you mentioned, 3rd and 5 for Canyon.
Good chunks by Seth on the ground. We're seeing anything between 3 and 6 yards per carry for Seth. He's going to need at least 5 here if they give it to him on 3rd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Send a man in motion, that's Farr. They fake it to him. Perez will keep up the middle. Got a good block from Seth Haney, and Perez has enough for a first down. Battling forward, they'll stop progress at the 46-yard line. Perez, while he was held up, got drilled. And he is good to see him up on his feet after that hit.
Absolutely. Nice call, too. They're noticing something opening up right there in the middle of that line. They're able to get a hole there open as it looked like J.T. Woods from his defensive back position made the stop for Steele. But nice hole. It's worked a couple of times to the Cougars' advantage. See how that manages to continue through the course of this first half.
Only one called pass play for this offense tonight. It's mostly been done on the ground. This one is fake to Haney. Curl route to the far sideline is caught. That's Callan Farr, who found a soft spot in the zone into Knight territory at the 46-yard line. Good gain on first down.
Javion Cardwell with the stop that time from his defensive back position for Steele.
Gain of 8, second down and 2 for this Canyon offense. Getting a play from the far sideline. Receivers to the far side is Bobby Rizek and Callan Farr, and the near side is Lane Young. Perez with the slap of the hands out of the gun. They give it to Haney up the middle with some running room and a Cougar first down. Fighting forward, he'll get to the 40-yard line and deeper into Knight territory, move the chains.
Well, thus far, a good handful of good-looking offensive plays for Canyon. Got to manage to keep this offensive drive going.
And keep the clock going now under 6 minutes here, opening period. Down 14-0, but driving. Nice methodical drive here for the Canyon Cougar offense. At the Steele Knight 40-yard line. Perez bat to pass with the pump fake, now delivers down the seam. That ball is in and out of the hands of Callan Farr. Would have been enough for a first down at the 25-yard line, but he took a shot as he was bringing the ball in. Ball comes out incomplete.
Oh, heard steps there that time, but Callan had that right in his hands.
Well, it just goes to show you, Roland, that speed in the secondary. Any other team, I think, not only does Callan catch that, but he's off to the races. But you just see the closing speed from these Steele Knight safeties. And not only do they get there to prevent a long catch, they prevent there to knock the ball out. On second down and 10, handoff to Seth with some running room up the middle at the 35. Flag comes in, and I think this is going to be a face mask penalty, as it was pretty clear to everybody that Seth got turned around because of a grasp of the face mask. Even so, Roland, good hard run out to the 35.
Seth has looked good carrying the football thus far this evening. We've got statistically for Seth 6 carries, 21 yards. He probably has more after that. We'll have to check that out. And there's the face mask call. So a couple of timely miscues for Steele. The Cougar offense has to take advantage of it.
They give Seth forward progress to the 35 and tack on the 15 for the penalty. Actually, they'll spot him to the 34, so that'll move the ball to the 21. And a fresh set of downs for the Cougars as they are inching closer to the red zone. Perez with Haney to his right. Calls for the ball and now gets a new play in from the far sideline. Receiver to the near side is Young. The movement down on the Knight defensive line, but they get back. Play clock now down to 10. Another play here for Canyon's offense. Handoff to Haney. He's met immediately. That is Juan Henry, the defensive end, laying the wood on Haney before Haney is able to get any kind of momentum. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
That time the Knight defense was keying on him.
Juan Henry, a couple of Division I offers, has one from Colorado State and the Naval Academy. As you saw with that speed off the line there, definitely worthy of such offers. Second down and 10 for Canyon. Perez gives it to Haney, trying to string it out here to the near sideline, and he is dropped in the backfield. Good open field tackle by number 9, Noel Rodriguez, the senior outside linebacker.
You know, we're talking about Noel Rodriguez. He is one of those players on this Steele squad that you had mentioned. 14 solo tackles to lead the team, along with Javion Cardwell. Both share that honor with 14 solo tackles thus far in the year. Give him 15 on that.
7 tackles for loss coming into tonight's ball game. That'll make it 8 for Rodriguez. 3rd and 13 for Canyon. From the Knight 24, Xavier bat to pass as the flag's down. He'll go heave it down to the near sideline. Another flag's in. That ball's incomplete, but intended for Lane Young. Xavier was beyond the line of scrimmage, yes. I believe. That's going to be 1 flag. We'll check the other one.
Yeah, I think he definitely crossed the line of scrimmage when he heaved that up.
It looked like he had room to run, maybe not pick up a first down, but give more yardage for the field goal kicker Martinez if necessary. But well beyond the line of scrimmage, he let that ball go.
Here comes the call.
Offsides is the indication against Steele. An illegal forward pass, the indication against Canyon, so those will offset, and we will replay third down. Young mistake there by Xavier Perez, Roland. If he keeps it and tries to run, it's 5 yards, and you keep the down third. Instead, it's an offsetting penalty, and it'll be 3rd and 13.
That defensive secondary has been wrapping up the Cougar receivers. As you were mentioning, one of the better secondaries in the area.
Perez rolling the pocket here on third down, keeping his eyes downfield, sets his feet, fires to the back of the end zone. Wide open receiver, and it is over his head, incomplete. The Cougars had a chance there, and the ball is just inches too tall for the intended receiver.
And he got past the defenders and had a couple of steps by his lonesome in the end zone. That one's going to come back to haunt Canyon.
Bobby Rizek was the intended receiver, wide open in the end zone and overshot. So this will be Jacob Martinez's opportunity from 41 yards out. A field goal try here to the near hash. Out of the hold of Fabian Facundo. Good snap, hold down, kick on the way, and this kick is no good. He missed it to the left. Roland, this has been a theme from, is there a flag?
Penalty markers on the field, so we'll check that.
The ball was spotted at the 31 for the field goal, and I saw Caden Stearns out by the 37-yard line. Is this a possible running into or roughing of the kicker is a question.
I'm thinking that's what the call might be.
I did not see it as I was following the football rolling. That was catapulted off the foot of Martinez.
Personal foul. Yep. That's it. Automatic first down.
For the third time in this possession, the Cougars are gifted a first down via personal foul penalty. This one will scrap that field goal attempt by Jacob Martinez and move the ball halfway. I believe it's going to be spotted half the distance to the goal line to the 12.
Now, what this offense has seen is, despite the gifts, they have been able to move that football offensively. Right now, it's just a question of keeping your composure, working, getting as much as you can, and, as you said, try to milk that clock.
1st and 10, Xavier will keep it on a design quarterback keeper off the right side. Minimal gain as he was hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe down to the 10-yard line, a gain of 2. 3:30 left to go, opening period. Canyon down 14-0, but are driving here. Steele scored on their opening possession, a 5-play drive, and then Canyon went 3 and out, punted the ball to Steele, and Steele took that punt in for a touchdown. Second down and 9 for Canyon. Fake it to Seth. Now Seth is a lead blocker for Xavier on the left side. 5, 10, end zone. Touchdown, Canyon.
That was a great job of Xavier that time, just following his blockers and taking that thing into the end zone. As I had mentioned, they're able to move the football, and they certainly have been that drive. This has to do wonders for that Cougar offense's mindset thus far in the game, their confidence.
10-yard touchdown run. The zone read did not give the ball to Haney, but then Haney became the lead blocker. That's the only block that he needed, as now there's some confusion on the Cougar line for this extra point attempt. They finally get the last man in. 8 on the play clock. Facundo takes the snap. The kick is up by Martinez, and Martinez sends this in. 3:03 left to go, opening period. Our new score is Steele 14, Canyon 7. We'll step aside. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
3:03 left to go in the first quarter, and the Canyon Cougars on the scoreboard. Nice drive, several gifts at the hands of the Steele Knight defense, but Xavier Perez takes advantage of it, takes the ball into the end zone, sprung by a great block by Seth Haney to lead the way.
Roland, exactly what we're looking for as we talked coming out of the last break. It was a 13-play drive that took 5 minutes off the clock and covered 84 yards. A 10-yard touchdown run by Xavier Perez is your scoring touchdown. Martinez with the ball teed up. It's a short kick. Stearns will take it at the 22-yard line. Coming to the near side, makes a man miss at the 30, and finally corralled at the 33. Roland, I see 10 Cougars within the vicinity of the football making that tackle.
Great special teams play that time by the Cougars, and leading the charge and looked like getting up off the bottom of that pile was number 22, Marcel Chisel for Canyon.
Well, Roland, this is exactly what we're talking about here. 3 minutes left to go, actually 2:56 here in the opening possession. This is Steele's second possession offensively. This is the type of ball control that Canyon needs to exhibit tonight in order to stay in this ballgame.
That defense has to feed off what the offense just did. Keep that confidence level up.
1st and 10, Steele at their own 36. Handoff to Brady, coming near side, steps out of a tackle at the 40-yard line, coming forward to the 45. Before being brought down, it's a gain of 9 on 1st down.
Couple of nice jukes that time. Martin Davis, how many times did we call that young man's name, making the stop that time for Canyon?
Team leader in tackles with 30 coming into tonight's ball game. Had 6 tackles last week versus Clemens, did Martin Davis. 2nd down and 1, Steele at the 45-yard line, moving left to right. Beagle, the freshman quarterback, has it, fakes it to Brady. Curl route on the far sideline is caught. Now into Cougar territory, and out in the open is Tyron Smith, number 6. Across the 40 to the 38, enough for a Steele 1st down.
Well, Vance McKay had his arms around him, but Smith just kind of put a move on there and seemed to wiggle his way out of Vance's tackle, pick up some additional yardage, that yak yardage, the yards after catch.
If we miss a name here and there for Steele, just bear with us. Their jersey colors are black with reflective silver numbers, and that is kind of tricky. As the handoff goes to Brady on the left side, turns the corner at the 25-20, and he will outrace the rest of the Cougars secondary into the end zone. Touchdown, Steele. No mistaking numbers there. We knew who that was, Roland. Brendan Brady into the end zone for Steele from 38 yards.
Especially by his running style. Whale of a first quarter for that young man. A couple of long runs. And just a perfect indication. Is this correct? 4 runs, 67 yards thus far. And this is just the first quarter.
And 2 touchdowns for Brendan Brady.
Absolutely.
Matthew O'Brien to attempt the extra point once again. The left footer sends this ball up and through the uprights. It is good. 2:05 left to go, opening period. Our new score, Steele 21, Canyon 7. We'll step aside. You're listening to Cougar Football on the Cougars Network.
Do you know what's perfect? Wick Productions teaming up with the Canyon Cougars. No kidding. We take pause when we hear you cheer for replays on the scoreboard. And we love the feline we get when you visit CougarsNetwork.com. Don't forget to subscribe, right? Meow. Isn't that right? What? Cat got your tongue? Mew it.
2:05 left to go, first quarter. And Ben Campos, let me tell you a story of a man named Brady. What a yard, what a job he's having thus far. 4 carries, 67 yards, as you mentioned, 2 touchdowns, and that one was quick.
3 plays, 64 yards, less than a minute for Steele to strike in that one. A 38-yard, as you mentioned, touchdown run by Brendan Brady. Somewhere Marcia's going to be proud.
Oh, Marcia.
O'Brien will have a 10-yard charge into this one with Facundo and Watanabe in deep receiving for Canyon. Facundo will take the ball at the 2-yard line and coming to the near side. Some running room across the 15 to the 20, and that is not Fabian Facundo. That is number 3. Kind of looked like 13 for a moment there, but that is not Fanch Steele. That is Fabian Facundo with a nice run out to the 20-yard line. and the Cougars will get the ball 1st and 10 from there with 1:58 left to go in our opening period.
Yeah, I believe that was J.T. Woods on special teams making the stop. No correction, that was 17. Jalen Jones, a 170-pound sophomore defensive back by trade, but making the stop on special teams for Steele.
Seth Haney has had a good night, but he is not starting this possession. It is Nathan Colbreth, who we mentioned during pregame, a nice game last week versus Clemens. They'll fake the ball to him, and a quick slant. Ball is in and out of the hands of Callan Farr. Another target for Farr, unable to hold it in, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, that's going to work for him at some point this evening. They've gone to it a couple of times, and they've just been, I don't know if Farr has taken his eyes off the football, but that formation, that play has worked for Canyon. They just got to haul it in for pay dirt, or at least for the 1st down.
You can see the promise in that young man, Callan, but perhaps some growing pains as the young sophomore's had a couple of drops early in this ball game. Definitely learning opportunities against a good Steele team. Send Farr in motion. They give it to him on the end around. Slips out of a tackle at the 15. Goes forward across the 20. Dragging players with him to the 25. Rolling. That's how you respond after a drop. You turn a 3-yard loss into a 5-yard gain.
Nice pickup for Callan running the football that time. Absolutely. As we were mentioning, a go-to weapon offensively for these Canyon Cougars. And we'll hear from him more, I'm sure, before the night's done.
1.5 left to go, 1st quarter. Steele on top, 21-7. Canyon facing a 3rd and 5. Fake it to Colbreth. Now they're going to set up a screen and give it to Colbreth as one block was not made, and Colbreth takes it and is hit immediately. That's a good stop by Steele defensively, gain of 2, and a 4th down coming.
That's right. Big heads-up play by that Steele defender, and I believe, if I'm looking at the number correctly, it was Cody Lees from his defensive line position. He's a junior defensive lineman. And good heads-up, open field tackle that time.
Martinez settling in at his own 13. 2 Steele return men at their own 40. Good field position either way. Perez is going to need a good one here. High spiraling kick that turns over. Stearns will have to fair catch it at the 35-yard line. Brazen punt there by Jacob Martinez. 38 yards, most importantly, rolling 0 on the return.
You had to hold one of those hot returners like Caden Stearns to no return or not being able to return the football. Gets a little moral victory that time for Canyon.
I'm surprised they're kicking to them, Roland. I'm a special teams guy by trade. Leading up to this game, I would tell my kickers we're not even going to do that. Everything's going to be out of bounds, especially punting the ball directionally. 1st and 10 Steele at their own 36. Hand off to Brady, coming to the near sideline across the 40, dives forward to the 45. Tackle made by Fansteel, 9 yards on 1st and 10. We have a Cougar down at the 40-yard line with 21 seconds left to go here in the 1st quarter, and I am unable to see. That is Martin Davis, number 9, the middle linebacker, and Roland, he is the leader on that defense. You know, the middle linebacker is like the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah, Martin Davis, we've talked about him a lot pregame. 2nd on the team with 30 solo tackles, only 1 behind Zach Fansteel. But just the leadership that he displays out there on the defensive side of the football for Canyon, that's huge. And we certainly hope this isn't anything serious, as we wouldn't with any of the players. But this could be a big loss if he's not able to continue.
You can't let this ball game get away from you. If you're Canyon, you're down 21-7 at this point, still in the 1st quarter, as Davis is able to get up.
That's a good sign.
And walk off the field under his own power. But Roland, this is a desperate Steele team who had lost 4 in the row earlier in this year, stuck at 1-2 in district and looking to make a push to make a playoffs, and they're out here in this ball game early trying to make a statement.
Right, certainly a position and a record that a Steele team is just not used to.
Play about to resume. It's check that 2nd down and 1 For Steele at their own 45-yard line, moving left to right. Sending man in motion, that's Onyx Smith. They fake it to him and come Brady to the near side. Good tackle by Steele to prevent Brady from turning upfield. It'll be enough for a first down to the 45. Nonetheless, great tackle there by Zach.
Great heads-up play by Zach Steele. You certainly enjoy watching that young man play the game as I have, and I know we all have thus far this season. Great job there on the defensive side of the ball.
We've come to the end of the first quarter, and our score, Steele 21, Canyon 7. We'll step aside. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
The wait is over. Chip and Joe are back with more Fixer Upper. I love you.
You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Here we go. You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer Upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Watch HGTV, GVTC, Digital Cable Channel 578. GVTC, just plain smart.
And welcome back to Lehnoff Stadium in Schertz, Texas. So we have played one quarter of play here. Clemens, check that, Steele on top, 21-7. I got to stop staring at the Clemens end zone here. It's tripping me up here. We are on Clemens High School's campus, but this is the Steele Knights.
That's right. And for many years, this has been the home of the Buffaloes. It still is, but exclusively at one point.
First and 10, Steele at their own 49. Beagle bat to pass with a pump fake. He'll tuck it and run, goes up the middle, and a nice tackle from behind by Josh Heiser, but not before Beagle's able to get into Cougar territory. They'll spot him at the 47.
Beagle's holding that football and just waiting, and like till the first open opportunity, and taking off with that football. It's been very effective on the offensive end of for the Knights thus far this evening.
On the ride over here, our spotter statistician, the Washington Bear, asked me, well, is this kid any good? And I told him quickly, he's a freshman playing on varsity. Something tells me he's pretty good. Second down and 6. Beagle hands the ball off. It's Brady again. Tries the left side. And it goes across the 40 to the 35 before being tackled by 2 or 3 Cougars. Out to the Cougar 33-yard line and a Steele first down.
It's like Brady has a juke on him where a tackler will commit to hitting him, and he'll just kind of move his body to get out of the way and pick up some additional yardage. That's been a great tool that he's been able to use.
Gain of 14 on that play. First and 10, Steele. Now moving right to left. Beagle out of the gun with Brady to the right. They give it to Brady with a nice sidestep there at the line of scrimmage, getting out of a tackle, but then juking himself into one. Cole Seeley making the tackle for Canyon. No gain on the play.
That's right. Nice, good heads-up play from the Cougar defense. Key on that Knight running back.
3 receivers here to the near side for Steele. 1 to the far. As Beagle will be out of the shotgun on second down and 10. Come to the near side. Ball's caught by Smith. Going down the sideline, and a good 1-2 punch tackle there by the Cougars. But Smith gets across the 25. Should be enough for a Steele first down.
Cole Seeley with the stop that time for Canyon. Great recovery, great stop on the Knight receiver.
Little over 10 minutes left to go, second period. Steele on top, 21-7 in driving. First and 10. Now at the Cougar 23. Beagle gives the ball to Brady, tries the left side, trying to turn the corner, and is ushered out of bounds by Zach Steele. Fabio Facundo is also there defensively for Canyon, but Brady once again will move the chains on a gain of 10.
That young man knocking on the door, he might have just passed the 100-yard mark, and still just under 10 minutes left to go in the first half. 104 yards, as a matter of fact, on 9 carries.
Came into this ball game 104 carries through the 6 games, 749 yards to his credit. They give it to him again, tries the left side again, and again the Cougars are there with nice 1-2 tackling. Steele again, and again Cole Seeley, so it's just a return of the same players play after play.
That's right.
Steele rolling. We talked about him in pregame from that safety position.
Yeah, leading the team in tackles, doing a great job, and we've seen him excel all season long. And tonight, no exception, stopping that Knight running back.
Gain of 3, second and 7 now for the Steele from the 10. Brady, they fake it to him. Now Beagle coming to the near sideline, turns the corner, and it dives forward to the 7. That's good initial contact by Antonio DeLeon. Makes Beagle turn upfield as Beagle was trying to turn the corner there. So minimum gain, and the Cougars have an opportunity to force a 3rd down conversion.
It looks like there's a timeout, or
Brady's going to have to come off the field as the referee pointed to his arm, so he might have a cut open that needs to be attended to by the trainers. So his understudy will come in. I believe that is DeQuavion Thomas, a sophomore running back, who will be out of the I formation. The fullback is in. That is 35, Zachary Simmons. Under center, Beagle gives it to DeQuavion, trying the left side, and there's 4 Cougars there. He's going to keep his feet turning at the 5.
He's moving that pile.
My goodness. It is a rugby scrum that gives DeQuavion Thomas a touchdown. 5 yards, nearly all 5 after contact.
DeQuavion Thomas, 186-pound, as you were mentioning, sophomore running back, and by the looks of that, plenty of power. He was stopped, like it looked initially like he was stopped after a couple of yards, but that forward momentum just kept driving him to the end zone.
What amazes me, Roland, is he did not even have an opportunity to get his momentum going. It seemed like as soon as he had the football, the Cougars were there, still able to move the pile. There was 4 or 5 defenders on site, and to no avail, Thomas able to put it in. O'Brien to attempt the extra point, and this one is up and good. 8:23 left to go here in the second quarter. Our new score, Steele 28, Canyon 7. We'll step aside. This is Cougar football on the Cougars Network.
In college football, you don't have the luxury of looking ahead. Every Saturday's a different way of destroying your season. They'll make the ground shake. They'll make your eyes burn. They'll show you hate and disrespect unlike anything you've ever seen. Don't think about January when there's a Wolverine coming for your face in September. The biggest game, the only game, is the one you're playing.
8:23 left to go before halftime. The Steele Knights on the board once again as their leading rusher, Brendan Brady, had to come off for a play. DeQuavion Thomas, his understudy, into the ball game for one play, and that's all it took into the end zone. Extra point is good, 28-7. Steele leads the Canyon Cougars, I said, with 8:23 left to go here in the first half.
We're starting to get to a point in Texas high school football, Roland, that whether your playmaker's a sophomore or a freshman, it just doesn't matter. These players are good.
That's it.
The kickoff from O'Brien is fielded by Facundo at the 3. Coming upfield, the 15, the 20, has a small seam, and look at Fabian go across the 35-40, pushed out of bounds with extreme prejudice at the 40. And the Cougars will have 1st and 10 with decent field position coming up. And Roland, I'm just saying that because you see the star running back, the senior, come out, and you expect some sort of a drop-off when you put a sophomore in the backfield. And lo and behold, that player's just as good as the player that just left the field.
That's right. It's athletic ability. What can you do out there on the field? And it's not necessarily age or grade classification that matters. It's ability.
The referees had the ball marked at the 40, and one referee has now spotted the ball at the 45. And now they move it back, much to the dismay of our statistician who had already put everything in at the 45. So the Washington Bears are going to have to reset all those numbers, and Canyon will start 1st and 10 from their own 40, moving left to right, down 28-7. Handoff given to Haney, puts his head down up the middle, met at the line of scrimmage but keeps his feet going, finally brought down at the 44. Hard 4 yards there for Seth.
Seth is a tough runner, so we know we can expect that from him. Tough yardage when needed.
Near side receiver Isaiah Scott, 2 receivers to the far sideline. Lane Young and Callan Farr. Haney to the right of Perez. Worley in that H-back position. to the right of the formation. Haney now moves over to the left. Perez has it, gives it to him. Patient running room there for Seth across the left side. Nice run there up to the 49-yard line, gain of 5 for Seth.
Seth hesitated just long enough to then turn on the jets and get ahead for some tough yardage, setting up at third, and as you mentioned, third and short, should be third about 1.
1 of 4 are the Cougars on third down conversions tonight in this ball game. Another opportunity here, 2 receivers to the near side. Rivera and Callan Farr, the near side receivers. Xavier, keeper all the way across the 50 and a Cougar first down into Knight territory at the 48. Move the chains and keep this drive going.
Exactly what I would have called. Xavier Perez, you can always count on him to pick up a couple of tough yards there in the middle. As a matter of fact, second leading rusher on this Cougar squad.
Coming into tonight's ball game, 280 yards and 4 touchdowns to his credit on the ground. And had a good lead block there from Seth Haney. I've not seen Owen Worley touch the football, but he's been a key blocker tonight, kind of using him in that little H-back set. They have him to the left of the formation, Haney to the right. Xavier zone read, keeper up the 45-yard line across the 40 before being met in the secondary by Caden Stearns. Spot the ball at the 39. It's a gain of 9.
Nice pickup from the Cougar quarterback once again to move the chains.
2nd down and 1. Under 6.5 left to go before the half. Canyon, another long and sustained drive into Knight territory. Haney to the right of Xavier. Fake it to Haney. Bat to pass to Xavier, and he is hit for the blind side and dropped. That is Juan Henry once again, the defensive end, bringing Xavier back to the 47-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 7.
Henry was some help from Noel Rodriguez from his linebacker position, the senior 165-pound linebacker.
It is now 3rd and 9 after that loss. And Canyon will come up to the line of scrimmage. Need to get to the Steele 38 for a first down. Send a man in motion, that's Farr from left to right. They fake it to him and to Seth. They have a little screen set up. Haney catches it at the 45, dives forward. The Steele Knights are just too quick defensively. They had a nice screen set up. Seth gets down to the 41, and there is an injured Knight at the end of the play.
Yeah, as you were mentioning, they set that up perfectly. There was Haney right by his lonesome in the middle of the field with a hole, but as you saw how quickly those holes collapsed.
You know, you could draw that up rolling on the grease board and say, you get this man, you get this man, and you could execute it. But, you know, compare this team to some of the teams that the Cougars have faced. It's not just half a step, a full step faster defensively. And when you're mimicking these plays against a JV squad all week during practice, there's nobody on that JV squad that could mimic what they're going to see tonight defensively. Otherwise, they'd be on the varsity squad for sure. And so it's just tough that play was beautifully called, beautifully executed. It was just out-executed by the other team.
Well, speed and size is what we're seeing from this Steele defense.
No way to get an indication right now of who's down for Steele. I believe that's number 3, Javion Cardwell, the 165-pound senior, commit to Oklahoma State next year to play college football in the Big 12. You have him in the backfield and Caden Stearns, the Texas Longhorn. Those two teams will meet tomorrow morning, the Longhorns and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. So a couple of future players for those programs playing tonight on a Friday night.
I see what you did there, Ben Campos. Very nice segue.
4th and 3 for Canyon. At the 41-yard line, need to get to the 38. They're going to go for it. Offense on the field. Man in motion is Farr from left to right. Settling in is the slot. They go back to the other sideline for a new play. Play clock under 10. Xavier Keeper tries up the middle, and I think he's got a first down. What a play. Xavier Perez puts his head down and barrels forward and will get enough down to the Steele Knight 37.
You always count on number 7 to get you those important yards when you need it. Another great job by the Cougar quarterback.
Minimizing the number of possessions Steele can have offensively. As we are now approaching 4.5 left to go in the second quarter, Steele on top 28-7, but Canyon is driving. The Cougars will get the ball to start the second half. 1st and 10. Hand off to Haney, left side, nothing doing there. Will fall forward, maybe gets a yard to the Steele Knight 36. And Roland, when you think about what Seth's done tonight, that's really one of the few runs that he has had where he has not been able to get to the second level.
That's true. Not a bad night for Seth thus far on the evening. 11 carries, 33 yards. He's, check that, 12 for 34. He's ripping off about 3 per carry.
Hand off again to Haney. Tries the right side, and again, nothing really doing. Unable to get back. Actually, they'll give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain there. 3rd and long upcoming.
That's right, and that Knight defense keying on him, collapsing on him, closing up those holes soon as they open.
2 receivers to the near side. In the slot is Callan Farr. The far side receiver is Rivera. Perez will roll to the far side, the left. Pump fakes and delivers. Ball is in and out of the hands and then caught by Fabian Facundo across the 30 to the 29. A juggling act gets the ball closer to the first down marker. We'll be shy by 2 yards, but I think Canyon's going to go for it here on 4th and 2.
Another big 4th down call for this Cougar offense.
Quickly back up to the line on 4th and 2. Xavier with the hard count, some movement on that Steele defensive front. They are showing blitz and showing aggressive nature. A lot of movement on that defensive line and in the linebacking core. Reset the play. Handoff fake to Haney. Perez is rolling. Delivers it down the seam. Owen Worley catches it at the 5-yard line. 2 for 2, the Canyon Cougars on 4th down conversions on this drive.
Owen Worley to the rescue. He hasn't gotten a call yet running the football, but he was just they were just waiting to use him for a big play like that.
Coming up lame at the end of the play is Isaiah Scott. He is going to limp off the field. The Cougars are back up to the line. 1st and goal at the 5. 2:40 left to go before the half. The Cougars masterfully on this drive have moved the ball down. Now 5.5 off the clock in this possession. Haney to the left. Keeper, Perez, stutter steps, now goes up the middle and is twisted back to the 5-yard line. Minimal gain there on a hard run by Xavier.
That's right, another example of that quick Knight defense. They're getting to the ball carrier very quickly and, of course, have the size to stop them.
Clock running now at 2 minutes. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Handoff is fake to Haney. Perez will keep it. Tries the left side. Cuts it back in at the 5-yard line. Trying to keep his feet going. He'll get down to the 2. And that is it. Unable to create the rugby scrum that we saw Thomas get into on Steele's last possession, but moves the ball forward to the 2.
Great heads-up run again by the Cougar quarterback.
I think if you're Joe Muchagimba, you got to start thinking about taking a timeout here soon. You have all 3. This time of possession is reaching 7 minutes, and I think you want to let your offensive line at least catch a breath here. But they will come up to the line with 10 on the play clock at the 2. Perez will take it. Handoff, Haney up the middle, met, stuffed by 3 or 4 Steele defenders. And it'll be 3rd down as they're going to actually move the ball back, loss of 1 to the 3.
I believe, if my eyes aren't playing tricks on me, that was number 99, Christian Baldelamar, a junior defensive tackle, making the stop and keying on Seth Haney that time.
This will be a 19-yard field goal for Jacob Martinez from the left hash out of the hold of Facundo. Good snap, hold down, kick up, and this ball is good. Jacob Martinez connects from 19, and we have a new score. Steele 28, Canyon 10 with 34 seconds left to go before the half. We'll step aside. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
Horrifying, gruesome, and edible. Another epic season of Halloween Wars. Master food artists scare up their most spine-tingling creations.
If I want to put this on my mantle.
As long as they don't get spooked first.
Oh my God.
All new Halloween Wars, Sunday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
34 ticks of the clock left to go before we reach halftime. And the Canyon Cougars on the board once again. Field goal. That time by Jacob Martinez. Almost Mr. Automatic, as we can call him. What a job he does kicking the football for this Cougar squad. 34 seconds, as we mentioned. 28-10 now. The Steele Knights on top of Canyon.
Martinez has the ball teed up. Stearns and Brady awaiting. It is a high, short kick. Then an up man will take it at the 25. Trying to reverse his field. Has a crease. And what a tackle here before he's able to get into the crease by Zach Fansteel across the 30 to the 33. That's good special teams tackle by Zach.
I was going to say, almost patented move there by Fansteel. You just kind of always know it's him. He's always around that football making stops. Great job.
29 seconds left before the half, and rolling an important possession we just saw by that Cougar offense. 15 plays, 57 yards, 7 minutes, 49 seconds off the clock. Incredible clock management there. Ends in a short field goal, but remember, Canyon will get the ball to start the second half, so you want to get points where you can. It's an 18-point deficit. Remember, you're going to get the ball to start the second half. Out of the pistol, Beagle to Brady. Brady coming to the near side. He has running room across the 40, now into Cougar territory. Pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line by Fabian Facundo.
Brady uses his blockers very, very well, and he's got that explosive first step as well. He just, wow.
Here I am, Roland, thinking just get into the half, but Steele obviously has other thoughts as this offense is very explosive now with 23 seconds already into Cougar territory. Spot the ball back at the 44. Beagle looking to pass, near side, curl route. They get the hook and ladder going. Ball's completed to Smith, who pitches it back to Brady, and Brady gets out of bounds. Did not fool the Cougars, and the ball will be spotted at the 36. Still shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
18 ticks of the clock left. It looks like by all indications, the Knights want more points on that scoreboard.
Check that 2nd down and 2 for Steele at the 36. Can the Cougar defense just get off the field and get into the half? Man in motion from right to left. They fake it to him. Bat to pass is Beagle, looking downfield. Rolling out to his right, keeping his eyes downfield. Fires it the last second. Ball is caught. Hauled in at the 12-yard line and pushed out of bounds. Trying to get an indication on the receiver.
I believe that was Onyx Smith on the far side of the field.
Is that 13? With these numbers, it could be 18, could be 16, and we get confirmation that it is 13, Onyx Smith. Again, these are thick numbers that are a reflective silver, and so when they're on the far sideline, all I see, you can make out the one, but what's after that? And Steele will take a timeout here.
That's right. That young freshman quarterback for Steele has had a nice-looking first half, Mr. Beagle. And right there, no exception. Just great composure to stay with the play. And he found Smith deep into Canyon territory. Just a well-executed pass play from the Steele Knights.
Not only that, Roland, if you're a natural athlete like Wyatt Beagle is, I would think the instinct there would be, as you have field in front of you, to tuck it and run. But as he rolled out, you could see him keep his helmet and eyes down the field, waiting for a receiver to come open. And it paid off there with a nice strike to his receiver. I think less developed quarterbacks would have tucked it and run, probably would have gotten a good gain, but you would not have seen that play develop as it did. 1st and goal from the 10 with 9 seconds left to go before the half. Beagle, fade route, back corner of the end zone. Caught. Steele has a touchdown.
That's Onyx Smith once again.
There is a flag down, and I think they're going to get a taunting penalty against Steele. But a nice fade route to the back corner of the end zone had Onyx Smith wide open. And we'll see what the call is from the official. The white hat official is over talking to Coach Joe Muchagimba. I think he's going to get a say on how this penalty will be assessed. And with 4 seconds, it doesn't give too many options to Coach Muchagimba. Matthew O'Brien is a very good kicker. In fact, he comes from a long line of good kickers. Unsportsmanlike conduct, the indication. If the name O'Brien sounds familiar to those in the New Braunfels area, he has 2 older brothers that both kit for the New Braunfels Unicorns before their family uprooted and moved here to the Schertz area. Left-footed kicker, Roland. I actually had an opportunity to kick with him this summer over at Texas State as he came to a kicking camp. So nice young man there, and definitely qualified to knock this one in, as this extra point will be from now 35 yards out. Ball between the hashes. Out of the hold of Onyx Smith. Holds down, and the kick's on his way, and it is good. Roland, let's keep it here as we have 4 seconds left to go before the half. Our new score, it's Steele 35, Canyon 10, and perhaps I'm guilty of this, Roland, of letting my guard down. You think Canyon scores with less than a minute left. You think, well, they'll probably just kneel the ball, get into the half, and the Cougars can take momentum with them, but that is certainly not the case. They kick the ball to Steele, and Steele goes down with, about 23 seconds left to go.
That's it. Steele struck quickly. I mean, their offense is moving, and you got to tip your hat to that young quarterback, Wyatt Beagle. You know, and head coach David Sines of Steele is got to just have a smile on his face, realizing this is a freshman. This is a freshman. I'm going to have it for 3 more years here.
It was a 4-play, 67-yard drive that took 25 seconds. So that just tells you.
Quick striking offense.
2 completions to Onyx Smith, the last 2 plays of that possession. And there's a 10-yard touchdown pass to Onyx. That makes the score 35-10. We'll see what Steele elects to do here. Maybe a squib kick or a deep kick from O'Brien. As the ball teed up, Facundo and Watanabe in deep receiving. It's a squib kick down the middle with a big bounce at the 35. Watanabe hauls it in at the 22, makes a man miss, and then is corralled and thrown down. And that will end the first half of play. Our score at the break, Steele 35, Canyon 10. We'll step aside when we come back. Halftime coverage from Lehnoff Stadium. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
Get closer to the action like never before with NASCAR Race Hub on FS1. At the track.
Looks like Superman won.
In the shop.
Catching up with Joey Logano.
On the headsets and behind the scenes.
Every night, the place to be.
All season long.
Hear the story from the drivers who lived it.
That's how tough the track was to drive.
And get the ultimate setup from the legends of the sport.
You can't script it. There's certain things out of your control.
NASCAR Race Hub. All season long on FS1.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
Tom Brady, that's a mic drop.
This is football, and this is how it is.
Let's just get right to it. Start your game day with Game Day Morning, football's first pregame show every Sunday.
Watch NFL Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 579. GVTC, just plain smart. Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to CougarsNetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network.
It's halftime here at Lehnoff Stadium in beautiful Schertz, Texas, and our halftime score, well, not so beautiful for we Cougar fans, as the Steele Knights lead Canyon by a score of 35-10. here at halftime. Big offensive showing from the Steele Knights. Canyon had a couple of answers, adjustments in the locker room right now at halftime. And we'll see what happens in the second half as adjustments are made from head coach Joe Muchagamba and the coaching staff of the Canyon Cougars. Right now, as we take a look at the field, the Canyon Marching Band is taking the field for their halftime performance. We're going to step aside here in just a moment and let you enjoy the fine sounds of a fine, fine musical outfit we're proud to call the Canyon Marching Band. Again, we thank you for joining us here all along the Cougars Network. 35-10 our halftime score. And right now, I'll tell you what, we'll take it over to the voice of the Canyon Cougars Band and pre-performance as they get set to go this evening from Lehnoff Stadium here in Church, Texas.
Tomorrow, the band performs at the UIL Region 12 Marching Contest. We wish the band the best of luck for continued success. Now, please sit back and enjoy the Canyon Band performance of Only Human. And now, Canyon High School proudly presents the 2017 edition of the 14-time national champion, the Canyon High School Aristocats. The Aristocats are under the direction of Taylor Goodman and assisted by Terry Brown. The social officers are Sandra Duplessis, Andrew Ferguson, Aubrey Campbell, and the head social officer is Cassidy Franz. The dance officers are Junior Lieutenants Kelsey Gomez and Grace Warren, Senior Lieutenants Haley Brooke, Shelby McGrath, and Madison Noble. First Lieutenant Talia Lopez, and the Aristocat Captain is Alyssa LeBron. The Aristocat of the Week is Aubrey Campbell. Now sit back and relax as the Aristocats perform an entertaining streamer jazz routine to We Built This City. Twirling captain is Megan Cortez. CHF band staff includes Jason Adams, Steve Bain, Brad Arnold, Amanda Bonner, Renee Gonzalez, and Jesse Stoll. The Canyon Band would like to wish the Steele Band good luck in tomorrow's
And what a performance, as per always, by this Canyon High School marching band. Understand they'll be taking part in UIL competition tomorrow. We certainly wish the Canyon High School band all the best in competition will be taking place tomorrow. 35-10 Steele on top of Canyon here at halftime. We'll be back with more halftime festivities in just a moment. You are listening to Canyon Cougar football right here on the Cougars Network.
Horrifying, gruesome, and edible. Another epic season of Halloween Wars. Master food artists scare up their most spine-tingling creations.
I want to put this on my mantle.
As long as they don't get spooked first.
Oh my God.
All new Halloween Wars, Sunday night at 9 on Food Network.
Watch Food Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 563. GVTC, just plain smart.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you with Austin Batcray-Milam, our spotter statistician. Our score at the break here at Lehnoff Stadium is Steele 35 and Canyon 10. And Roland, we were talking during the band's performance there, and you know, I've covered, this is my 11th season of high school football. I've covered Steele for a number of years and teams like Judson. And when you try to play these state power teams, the key to the games are to limit the number of times their offense is going to have the football. So you want long possessions. When you have the football, make sure the play clock is going down, you know, under 5 seconds to milk every second that you can. You got to get points whenever you can, and you have to keep them out of the kicking game. Kick the balls out of bounds, high kicks, force the fair catch, in order to avoid the big plays in the kicking games, which lead to a number of their points throughout the year. And for the Canyon Cougars, I think you see their game plan. It's exactly what I'm talking about, except they're maybe executing at about 70%. You're seeing it bits and pieces here and there, but you're seeing some breakdowns along the lines. And that's kind of how we get to our score at 35-10.
And I don't think anything was more indicative than that last offensive possession that Steele had. You know, if they could have run out the clock, just saved it, they'd be 7 points at least closer. It'd only be an 18-point deficit. Instead, Steele got the football and struck quickly. And you said it. The key thing is to keep the ball out of the Steele Knights' hands. Okay? They don't have the football, they can't score. It's that simple.
The Cougars are winning the time of possession battle 17 minutes to 7 and change. And so the Cougars are keeping their end of the bargain on that. It's just bits and pieces here. Roland, as we talk about it, you know, 35-10. Yes, the Steele Knights are a good football team, certainly better than their 2-4 record indicate. But we've seen the Canyon Cougars play with this team and at some points actually impose their will on the Steele Knights. You don't get to drive the length of the field and have times of possessions in the 6s and 7s per possession without doing things that are good of your own. So this is a Canyon team that you look at the scoreboard, might not be indicative of it, but the eyeball test tells you this Canyon team has improved throughout the year and has definitely taken another step forward despite the score from last week's game versus Clemens.
Absolutely, and as we talked about, maybe a play here and there, maybe a possession here and there that could have gone different, and Canyon is just a totally different football team. I don't think that their record is indicative of just how talented and how good this Canyon Cougar football team really is.
Yeah, I hate playing the what-if game, but you know, what if they don't kick to Stearns and he doesn't take that touchdown in, and what if the Steele Knights are unable to score with 29 seconds left in that possession before the half? That's 14 points off the board, and you're looking at 21-10 with Canyon getting the ball back. So small what-ifs here and there, but when you're playing a team like Steele, you put that now under a microscope. It magnifies, and difference of a play here or there is a difference in 17, 14, maybe even 21 points. So it's not fair to play the what-if game. You have to give credit to Steele. At the same time, again, not indicative of the 35-10 point spread there.
Absolutely. And if you want to pass along some high school football scores from around the district, let's do that right now. New Braunfels has a 17-7 lead at half over the East Central Hornets. Here's one. The Clemens Buffaloes a 13-0 lead over the Smithson Valley Rangers.
That is the San Antonio Express News Game of the Week happening up there at Smithson Valley.
And you know that's got to be a barn burner. Here's one that may make you raise your eyebrows a little bit. The Judson Rockets, the still number two team in the state, only a 21-14 lead at halftime over the Wagner Thunderbirds.
That is the rivalry game. I can't remember off the top of my head what they call it because I want to say the Iron Bowl, but that's Alabama-Auburn.
That's Alabama-Auburn, yes.
I still might be right, but I'm hesitant to say that, so I will not call it by its official name. But that is a rivalry game, Wagner and Judson. So Wagner able to keep that close. They are 0-3 in district playing that 3-0 Judson team. So, yes, eyebrows were raised as you mentioned that school.
And, here we go again. This is the district that we're playing in. I mean, it's tough from stem to stern. Here we go.
That Wagner, check that. That East Central New Braunfels score is a little closer than I would have guessed. With New Braunfels, when we saw them in the Worst Bowl explosive offense, looking for a bounce-back game against, as they lost last week to the Steele Knights, I would have thought that perhaps they would have distanced themselves a little bit more by now. So that score, if you're following high school football in New Braunfels, a little bit closer than many would have thought.
That's true. That is true.
Here at the half at Lehnoff Stadium, Steele on top of Canyon, 35-10. We'll take a break here during halftime coverage, but when we come back, Emily Wick had a chance to sit down with a couple of our Cougar football players for Emily's Cougar Challenge. We'll step aside. The Cougar Challenge coming your way here on the Cougars Network.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor, Zaxby's.
So welcome back to another episode of Cougars Challenge. So we got some different guys in the chairs today, as you may notice. We've wrangled in some coaches. So guys, can you introduce yourself, please?
Coach JJ Sierra. Coach Trenton Kirkland.
Coach Tony Sledge.
So men, y'all ready to do this?
Absolutely. Yes, let's go get it.
Let's do this. So our first question today might take you back a few years. In the children's song, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, how many times does the song say shoulders? Coach Sledge?
7.
Sorry, not right.
Better safe than sorry.
Feel free to sing it out loud.
I don't know it. I'm not on that level yet. I don't know.
You got the little kids, you know it.
Yeah, he's got the child.
Coach Sierra?
4.
Oh, you were close. Still no. Coach Kirkland?
I'm gonna go in between. Let's go 5.
No. The correct answer is actually 3. Do any of you know the song?
No.
I do. No.
Let's see if we can do it together.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Okay.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and lips and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Reminiscent song.
3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Good job. So although we are all with a -1, we're ready for the next question. Why did pirates wear earrings? Coach Kirkland.
Because they had their own swagger.
That's a good try, but sadly the answer is no.
It's close.
Anyone else?
I have no clue.
No clue.
No, do not know.
Well, you might as well take a guess because you're both in the negatives. Coach Sledge?
To use as an emergency fishing lure.
That is also a very good try, but wrong. Coach Sierra?
You gotta hit your button.
Oh. There you go. Just to keep tally of all the treasure they were finding?
That's also a very good try. The actual correct answer is it was believed that it would actually improve their eyesight because the precious metal was magical.
Interesting.
Very
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, he gets some earrings now, I guess.
Does anyone know why they wore eye patches?
I do not.
Coach Kirkland?
Too many sword fights.
That's close, but no. They actually, I'll give you a hint, still had 2 eyes. Any other guess? Coach Sierra.
You can see better out of one when one's covered.
Oh, you're warm. You're warm. Coach Sledge.
To look through the whatever
Telescope?
it's called, telescope.
That was also a good try. Actually, pirates wore an eye patch on one eye in case they had to go and raid down below to another pirate ship, that their eye was adjusted to darkness. So they had one always ready for the light and one always ready for dark. They were pretty smart, weren't they? Yeah, there you go. So the next question, I'm going to make it a little easier on you. Multiple choice. When the school started, who actually picked red and white as the Cougar school colors? A, the school superintendent, B, an internet vote, or C, the senior students? Coach Sledge.
C, senior students.
Very good job. Awesome.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm a new guy. It's not fair.
Well, it wasn't internet.
There was no internet. I kind of threw that one.
50-50.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was you.
All right.
So today's super hard question is, who can spell Coach Muchagumba's last name? I think I'm going to have to go with Coach Sierra on that one.
Moczygemba.
Coach?
That's it, Coach Sarah. Nice job, baby.
Good job.
That was good. That was good. I'll give him props.
I could have done it.
At least we all ring it.
That's true.
So right now we have a 2-part question. This could be worth 2 points for someone or break a tie. The question is, who played in the first Super Bowl? Coach Sledge.
Packers and Colts.
I'm sorry, that is not correct. Who hit it last?
It was JJ. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest here. I feel I can get it. I
Coach
gotcha.
Sierra? Who was it?
The Packers and the Raiders.
Sorry, that is incorrect as well. Coach Kirkland, you can tie it up.
And the Cowboys.
Oh, no. I am sorry, guys.
Had to go
The
with my star.
correct answer is Green Bay and Kansas City. And that year,
Mahomes.
Green Bay was the winner. Good try, guys.
That's about right.
And so even though today we're all kind of in the negatives, I have to say, coaches, y'all were such great sports. Thanks for doing this. Y'all all get a t-shirt.
Lost again.
Coach Brandt, back to you.
Go Cougs!
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you, with Austin Mapache Milam, our spotter statistician. Second half about to resume here at Lehnoff Stadium. Steele on top of Canyon at 35-10. Some first half statistics: Steele 265 yards of total offense, 154 on the ground, 111 through the air. Canyon 122 yards of total offense, 75 on the ground, 47 through the air. The quarterbacks, Wyatt Beagle, a perfect 6 for 6 for 111, 1 touchdown, no interception. Xavier is 5 of 9, 47 yards, and no touchdowns, no interceptions. Seth Haney has 14 carries for 33 yards, and Xavier has 8 carries for 37 yards to lead the Cougars. Brendan Brady, what a game he's had. 11 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns for Steele. So those are your first half statistics. As we mentioned, the Cougars will receive the kickoff to start the second half. So Dallin Watanabe and Fabian Facundo will be in deep receiving. It's Matthew O'Brien has the ball teed up for Steele. Second half ready to get underway. O'Brien sends this deep to Facundo on the far side in the middle of the end zone. Facundo catches it, takes a knee. So Canyon will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, coming out, you have the football to start the second half. What adjustments were made in the locker room? About to find out. It's going to be real interesting to see how Canyon moves the football.
Couple of drives for Canyon in that first half. More than 5 minutes of time of possession as the Cougars had the time of possession battle won in their favor. 17 minutes and change compared to the 7 on the other side for Steele. More than a 2-1 advantage there. On 1st and 10, Xavier hands the ball off to Haney, who goes up the middle trying to just fight back to the line of scrimmage. As they'll give him the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on 1st down.
Nice call. The Steele defense just sniffed it out. They were staying at home and waiting.
There was a small hole here to the right side, and I don't think Seth saw it. Could have been more yards there, but it'll be 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers here to the near side. That's Rizek and Farr in the slot. Haney now moves from the left to the right of Perez. Steele showing blitz. Here it comes. Handoff to Haney. Runs into the blitz to the 30-yard line, upended by Caden Stearns. Across the 30 to the 31, good gain of 6.
And the offense is setting up quickly.
Blitz on that right side of the Cougar offensive line, and Haney was able to run right past the blitzer. A quick misdirection. Good gain. Sets up 3rd and 4. Manageable here as the Cougars on their opening possession to start the 3rd quarter. Haney to the right of Xavier. Sends Callan Farr in motion. Keeper Perez on a design quarterback draw, able to get maybe 1 to the 32-yard line, shy of the 1st down by about 3 yards. And the Cougars are looking like they go 3 and out on their opening possession.
Zion Ruffin, junior linebacker, with the stop on Xavier that time.
10:25 left to go, 3rd quarter. Steele on top, 35-10, and the Cougars are going to send Jacob Martinez out to punt. And deep receiving is 6, Smith and 2. Caden Stearns, check that. That's number 7 in deep receiving for Steele, Terrence Ingram, and Caden Stearns. Martinez with a high end-over-end punt that'll be away from Stearns. Bounces at the 42 before taking a night bounce down by Vance McKay at the 44-yard line, and Steele will have the ball 1st and 10 after a 24-yard punt by Martinez. And Roland, you can live with that as long as there's 0 on the return.
That's it. As you were mentioning, keeping it away, especially from Caden Stearns, who is a dangerous return man for Steele.
First look at the 3rd quarter of the quarterback, Wyatt Beagle. Again, the 179-pound freshman who is perfect on the day, 6 of 6 for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. 3 receivers to the far side, ball on the near hash. Handoff given to Brady with the juke move at the line of scrimmage, goes forward before being punished by Martin Davis to midfield logo, gain of 5.
Good to see him back in the game and playing. Looks like he's injury-free, thank goodness.
Martin Davis had a limp off the field early in that 2nd quarter, so as Roland said, good to have him back. 2nd down and 5 for Steele. Ball in the SCUC ISD logo at midfield. Beagle fakes it, and he's going to roll out to his right. Gives the ball, and actually is just going to throw it away. Incomplete as the Cougars able to force a throwaway of the ball. Good pursuit there by the Cougar defensive line.
That's right. Good pressure shown by that Canyon defense. Cody Lee's coming in to apply some pressure.
Third down has been a friendly down for Steele. They were 2 for 2, 100% conversion rate in that first half. Have another opportunity at 3rd and 5. Brendan Brady is to the right of Beagle. Beagle with a pump fake to the near side. Rolling out to the far. Delivers it on a comeback route. Ball's caught and tackle broken. Down the sideline, the receiver, I believe that's Onyx Smith. Smith inside the 10, the 5, and a touchdown for the Steele Knights.
Just a case of missed tackling right there. The defender had him wrapped up. But if that was Smith, and yes, coming to the near sidelines, it does appear to be Onyx Smith. He just a move, got away, was able to squirm out of that tackle and into the end zone.
50-yard hookup for Wyatt Beagle. Matthew O'Brien on to attempt the extra point. And that kick is good. Off the foot of Matthew O'Brien. 8:55 left to go in the third quarter. The lead has been extended. It's Steele 42, Canyon 10. You're listening to Cougar Football on the Cougars Network.
When is shoe shopping more than just shoe shopping? When it's shoe shopping for a cure. Shop QVC presents Fanny Shoes on Sale. You'll find beautiful shoes by top designers, all at 50% off. And every purchase benefits breast cancer research and education. Great shoes for a great cause. What's not to love? Tune in Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Shop all October long at QVC.com.
8:55 left to go here in the third quarter. Another touchdown drive by the Steele Knights is their first offensive possession of the second half. We were crediting the touchdown to Onyx Smith. Instead, it was number 16, Daniel Jackson, 194-pound sophomore wide receiver who hauled in the catch and put the move on to get into the end zone for the Knights as they now open up the lead to 42-10.
3-play, 55-yard drive for Steele. 55 seconds off the clock. Bryan prancing up to the ball and sends this one high, short, spinning. Watanabe gets it at the 10-yard line, comes to the near side, shakes off a tackle at the 25, and is finally thrown back by Caden Stearns. Hard run there by Dallin to get the ball at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Canyon on their next possession. Second possession of the second half, the first one going 3 and out.
Well, let's see if the Cougar offense has an answer for that Steele Knight touchdown.
Just like to get something going for the sake of momentum, for the sake of celebrating, something to get some positive vibe on that far sideline. Rolling down 42-10. The doubt in this ball game is starting to shrink as Steele is starting to impose their will, but 8:45 left to go, third quarter, still a lot of time to do good things. If you're Canyon, handoff given to Colbreth, trying to turn the corner on the left side, is brought down at the 21. It's going to be a loss of a couple. Actually, they'll spot it loss of 2 to the 23.
That's right, Shane Sampson from his defensive tackle position. He's a 193-pound senior coming over to make the stop, and that's no gain for Canyon on that run. Loss of 2, as a matter of fact.
Colbreth now to the right of Xavier. Far's in motion from left to right. They fake it to him, give it to Colbreth. Tries the left side, plenty of room there. Across the 25, makes a move at the 30, and dives forward before being tripped up. It's going to be shy of the first down by maybe a yard as he'll get the ball to the 34. Good run there by Nathan.
Absolutely. He found that corner and was able to take it upfield, pick up positive yardage.
3rd and 1 Canyon. Movement on that Steele defensive front as they get back after Xavier's hard count. 8 in the box as they show blitz. Now backing people out and back to the line. Nathan with a nice counter move gets the first down across the left side to the 37-yard line and a Cougar first down.
Running that football, Nathan Colbreth once again. So far, looking at 91 yards on the ground for this Canyon offense running the football this evening.
Well, I shortchanged them one there. They'll give him to the 48. Check that, 38-yard line. Approaching 7 minutes in the third quarter. Ball on the far hash. Colbreth still in the game. Farr again in motion, this time right to left. They give it to Colbreth coming to the near side. Spins into a couple of tackles at the 40. And he's going to get 2 yards after that. And 2 Knights in on the tackle.
But hats off to Owen Worley throwing a big block here on the near side of the field to open up a little bit of a hole that time for Colbreth.
Different utilization of Owen in tonight's ball game. He's been the lead back from that H-back position. Has not touched the ball in the past 2 games, but has been critical in the blocking game. 2nd down and 8 for Canyon. Xavier is trying to set up the screen. Screen is set up, ball delivered. It's Farr across the 45, dives forward. It's going to be marked at the midfield logo. It's a good pickup there. Another Cougar first down.
You know, talking about springing good blocks, and we've talked about this young man for a couple of weeks. Adam Alcorta from his offensive line position sprung a big one to open up a hole for positive yardage that time for the Cougar offense.
The junior left tackle at 6'4", 290 pounds is Adam. To see him getting some good work. 1st and 10 at midfield. Keeper, Perez, trying to make his way back to the line of scrimmage, is going to fall forward for a gain of 1 into Knight territory now at the 49.
Awesome, tough running over to make the stop for Steele. That was Larry Bailey from his defensive tackle position.
Good rhythm to this drive as more seconds are starting to bleed off the clock. Time of possession is already approaching 3.5. As the Cougars are now over the midfield mark. Perez rolling out to his left. Tosses the ball downfield, in and out of the hands of Callan Farr. Would have been enough for a first down. In coverage there, Chance Cromartie, the strong safety, almost, I think he did get a deflection on it, and out of the hands of Callan Farr.
Yeah, looked like it hit him in the hands. Another rough opportunity there for Farr.
Stops the clock at 5:29 here in the third quarter. Steele on top, 42-10. Canyon driving at the Steele 49. Ball on the far hash. 2 receivers to the far side is Young on the outside, Farr in the slot. In motion is Callan from left to right. They fake the handoff to Colbreth to set up the screen, and Colbreth is drilled as soon as the ball gets to him by number 51, I believe. And that is Vincent Quintana. Set up 4th and long. Here comes Jacob Martinez, the punter. Caden Stearns is going to await this kick at the 15. Looking for something high, hang time, and preferably short, away from the return man. This one is a spiraling kick. Stearns will have to call for a fair catch. That'll do at the 12 as well. What a punt by Jacob Martinez, allowing nothing on a return. Punt of 39 after a wonderful high spiraling kick.
And a score to pass along from, I believe, back in New Braunfels on the campus of Canyon High School. The Lady Cougars, I believe as they'd be referred to, just defeated East Central 3-1, 25-16. They lost the second match, 25-18, or second set, that is. Won the third, 25-19, won the fourth, 25-21.
Quarterback change for Steele. Isaiah Moore, the sophomore, is in. The handoff will go to the far sideline. DeQuavion Thomas, another sophomore, tries the right side and is going to actually lose a yard as Thomas is going to limp off the field. DeQuavion Thomas already with a touchdown to his credit. Injured on that play, so Terrence Ingram, number 7, checks in for Steele. 2nd down and 11. Hard to believe it, Roland. You take out a freshman and you put in a sophomore, and your sophomore's the backup. That's a wonderful
Amazing.
Depth of talent here.
Absolutely.
On a quick slant route, the ball is tossed and caught. At the 19, they'll stop the forward progress. I believe that's 16, Daniel Jackson. Fabian Facundo in coverage there. Stops the gain after gain of 5, I believe. And we have a timeout for injury.
With this timeout, we'll pass along a couple of third quarter scores from district play. It's New Braunfels now on top of East Central 30-7. That's with 9:04 left to go in the third quarter. From down the road a piece in Spring Branch, Texas, the Smithson Valley Rangers trailing the Clemens Buffaloes 13-3. That's with 2:38 left to go in the third quarter.
42-10 here at Lehnoff Stadium. Steele on top of Canyon as the Steele Knight is down at the 15-yard line. Wyatt Beagle, the freshman quarterback, was sensational in that first half, and he'll deserve this break that he gets. He'll sit out the rest of the game. So the numbers on him, Roland, 7 of 8, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. My goodness. That one incompletion, by the way, a heads-up play. He was rolling out to his right, no receiver there, so he just tosses it away while he was under duress. So we could forgive him that one incompletion on the night.
Well, this in his first official start, I guess, as a high school quarterback here for
poised.
Yeah,
incredible.
Very much so.
Kid couldn't even drive to the stadium today. I wonder if he even has a driver's permit where maybe he could drive with his mom in the passenger seat.
Very, very impressive.
The Steele Knight player is on the sideline with help from the trainers. On third down, quick pass to the sideline is caught by Tyron Smith and hit immediately by Fabian Facundo. What a hit. It's going to be a loss back to the 17-yard line, and the Cougars have forced a 3-and-out on this possession.
You know, you just can't say enough good things about Fabian Facundo. 11 catches offensively on the year, 137 yards, 24 tackles on the defensive side of the football, 2 touchdowns, 219 all-purpose yards. Fabian, the tip of the Canyon Cougars cap to you this evening, my friend. Good evening.
Brendan Brady's night is not over. He also serves as the punter. Punts this one to Rivera, who has to chase it down after it bounces at the 45, gathers it at the 38, is hit immediately and pushed out of bounds. Good tackle on special teams by Zion Ruffin, the junior linebacker. Pushes Rivera out of bounds, so Canyon will have it 1st and 10 at the 38.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first punt of the game for Steele.
Yeah, Brady doesn't punt a lot, but he does have a 43-yard average. Had a long last week of 63 versus New Braunfels. And got a good one there as the Cougars had brought pressure. So Canyon has the ball with 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third quarter, down 42-10. And we'll see what they could do here with this, their third possession of the third quarter. Haney is in the ball game. They'll do an end around to Watanabe, I believe. Across the 45, Dragon defenders with them. That is number 22. That is not 32. So 22 is Marcel Chisel. We saw him in some action last week versus Clemens. Had 2 catches for 2 yards, but a spirited effort by Marcel as he gets the end around there for a gain of 7.
Ruffin with the stop that time for Steele.
Chisel again in motion from the slot. They give it to Haney. Goes to the left side on a counter. Shaking tackles off of him. It's going to be shy of the first down perhaps. We'll see where they'll spot the ball.
Yeah, it looks like it just may be a yard or so shy by the spot. Good hard run that time by Haney.
He might have enough for a first down. The marker is at the 48. That's exactly where the ball is.
They are signaling.
And a late signal it was, so they'll move the chains for the first down, and Canyon will keep the drive going. Either way, it would have been third and very, very short. But Seth able to fall forward and get enough for a first down. So 1st and 10, Canyon at their own 48, looking to get into Steele territory. Haney up the middle. Nice sidestep there at the midfield logo, keeping his feet going and dragging defenders with them. Across the 45 to the 44, nice run on first down by Seth.
Gotta love it. He kind of turned his back on the defenders who were there to stop him, but still moving his legs to get positive yardage. Picked up 8 on that run.
2nd and 2 upcoming for Canyon as we are approaching 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Nice drive here for Canyon again. The Steele 44. Haney once again, nice sidestep across the 40 and the 35, deeper into Steele territory across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Nice run once again for Seth Haney.
Oh, now that Seth Haney engine's getting revved up. He's looking good running the football in the middle of the field, picking up positive yardage. So far over 50 yards. I believe that'll get him 66 actually on that carry.
A gain of 16. He's at it again here on first down. Tries the left side and takes first contact at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward to the 25. So add 3 more for Seth's total. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Couple of tough yards, but set up a second, as you mentioned, 2nd and 7. Nice, methodical, time-consuming drive by the Canyon offense.
Under a minute now here in the third quarter. Canyon, no real sense of urgency. Play clock down to 20. Still getting a play in from the sidelines. Xavier rolling to the near side, looking to pass. Delivers the ball, caught by Bobby Rizek at the 15-yard line. Thrown out of bounds immediately by Jalen Jones, the cornerback on the near sideline. Good catch by Bobby. And that should be enough for a Cougar first down, but there's a flag on the play. I did not see that flag as the play was developing.
Looks like, let's see.
Always a risk of a hold as you roll the pocket in the way that Canyon did. And that is, and you know, Roland, if you're an offensive lineman, you're engaged with your defender, and the pocket is designed to roll. So the defender notices it, and he wants to disengage. And if you mistime your block there and the defender disengages, he could take your arm with him, and the referee could interpret that as a hold, and you're flat.
Yeah, and I will tell you after this play.
2nd down and 17. They roll Xavier again, this time to the far sideline. Tosses it downfield. It's caught by Lane Young at the 22-yard line. Good pitch and catch there for a big gain that's going to be shy of a first down.
Yeah, moving that football, looking good. I was going to mention on the previous play, with seconds left in the third quarter, that's their first penalty of the game for Canyon.
3 for 11 on 3rd downs are the Cougars. This one more manageable at 3rd and 2 after that pickup of 15. Ball at the 20-yard line. Handoff, Colbreth up the gut. What a run by Nathan across the 20 to the 15-yard line. Rolling, no hesitation whatsoever. Hit the hole with some speed.
He did. When he got that first step, it was off. He was squirting through the middle of that line, that defensive line.
15 seconds left. Clock continues to move, and I think Canyon might be content to go into the fourth quarter. Or they might run another play here. Xavier in the gun. He'll take it. Yes, he'll roll to the near side, directing traffic, keeping his eyes downfield. He'll tuck it and run. Nice juke move at the 15-yard line, spinning forward across the 10 to the 8. Nice run and improvisation there by Xavier Perez. But after that gain, we have come to the end of the third quarter. Our score, Steele 42, Canyon 10, but driving. You're listening to Cougar Football on the Cougars Network.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you with the Bandit Austin Milam, our spotter statistician. We played 3 here at Lehnoff Stadium in Schertz, Texas. Steele on top of Canyon, 42-10, but a good drive here for Canyon. They have taken more than 3 minutes on this drive, bled all the time left from the third quarter, and are now at the Steele 8-yard line.
It's been a good-looking drive, and you know, I think one thing we can say thus far in the game, Ben, is we haven't seen, even despite the score, an awful lot of miscues from the Canyon squad.
Good execution of the game plan, just kind of outmatched there in the first half. On 2nd down and 3, end around with Colbreth, I believe, turning the ball upfield. I think that's actually chiseled 22, not 26. Falls across the 5-yard line. Good enough for a Cougar first down at the 3. 3rd and goal. In the backfield is Chisel and Colbreth. Now Chisel in the slot. Worley set up in that H-back position to the right, just in front of Colbreth. Roll Perez to the right. He's under pressure. Steps out of a sack at the 8-yard line, now rolling to the left across the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Canyon.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant on Xavier's part because he felt the pressure and had the presence of mind to get out of it. Not only that, put the ball away, take it through the middle of the field, right into the end zone. Just a good heads-up play and good sense of awareness of where he was on the field that time for Xavier Perez. Into the end zone. It's 42-16 now with the extra point to come.
And again, confusion on the Cougar extra point team. They run an extra player onto the field. 10 seconds for Jacob Martinez to get the snap. Hold down, kick up, and that ball is good. 11:25 left to go in the ball game. Canyon strikes back. We'll step aside. Our new score, Canyon 42. Check that, Steele 42. Canyon is 17.
I liked it better the first way.
You're listening to the Cougars Network.
Do you know what's perfect? Wick Productions teaming up with the Canyon Cougars. No kidding. We take pause when we hear you cheer for replays on the scoreboard. And we love the feline we get when you visit CougarsNetwork.com. Don't forget to subscribe, right? Meow. Isn't that right? What? Cat got your tongue? Mew it.
Ball teed up. Jason, check that, Jacob Martinez. To kick off for Canyon as Xavier Perez scores from 3 yards out. 11:25 left to go in the ball game, and Canyon now down 42-17. So some positive moments here in the fourth quarter for Canyon. Martinez sends this one high, spinning. Stearns will have to drop back to his end zone and take it. Coming out of the end zone is Caden. Tries the right side flag in as Caden Stearns is drilled. There's some fighting going on there. That's not what the flag is for. The flag came in during the duration of the run back. And all that stuff was after the play.
Yeah. It's got to be a little frustrating. It just, there's no sense in doing something that's going to get you into any kind of trouble this late in the ball game.
Holding the indication against Steele. So that was good kickoff coverage there by Canyon to prevent Stearns from getting past the 20-yard line. So you tack on half the distance for the holding penalty. That's double the fun there for Canyon. Spot the ball at the 9. Again, your quarterback is Isaiah Moore, the sophomore backup, as he hands the ball to Ingram. The senior running back is driven backwards by the Cougar defensive line. It's going to be a loss of 2.
That's right. That time looked like Antonio De Leon with some help from Reagan Hopper making the stop on the Steele running back.
Bat to the 7. Cougar defensive line. A good outing once again to start this drive as they were able to force Steele to go backwards on their last drive, so picking up where they left off. Moore will hand off to Ingram again, tries the right side of the line. The Cougars are there, trying to squirt free of another tackle. He'll fall forward to the 12. That's good contact there by Canyon, not letting Ingram get away.
Josh Heiser that time in on the stop for the Cougars.
Another third down for Steele as this ball will be spotted at the 12. Need to get to the 19, so it'll be 3rd and 7. 10 minutes left in this ball game. Cougars trying to cloud the line. Hand off to Ingram. Makes first contact at the 15, trying to make something of it. The Cougars were able to gain tackle him before he gets to the first down marker. They'll spot him to the 17, short of the first down, and the punt unit for Steele will come onto the field.
Man, that Canyon defense holds on another series of downs for the Steele Knights.
4th and 2. Brady into punt. He'll stand at his 5. Rivera waiting in midfield for this one. Snap to Brady. Directional kick to the near sideline. Beautiful spiral punt that turns over. Drives Rivera back to the 35. Now trying to make something of it. Makes the first man miss and runs into the heart of the second wave. Flag comes in late. Rivera will be stopped at the 35. Flag comes in at the 40. We'll see what this is. Now the flag's starting to come out, Roland. It was relatively penalty-free there in the first half of play, and really in the third quarter as well. Now we're starting to see more and more flags come out as some of the backups get work done on both sides of the football.
Yeah, perhaps a little exuberance on the on behalf of the backups. Let's see. This one going against Steele again.
Illegal block in the back was the call. That's odd that it would be against Steele, and the referee actually the referee tried to mark it off against Canyon, and then he's reminded, no, this is against Steele. And it actually is corrected.
It is against Canyon.
Well, I was wondering, why would it be blocking the back if the Steele Knights had just punted the ball? They're not trying to set up any type of block. They're trying to cover the football, to cover the kick. So I don't know how that would even be possible, but then you think maybe it's just a cheap shot. Somebody, hit a player in the back as they're running down the field. But the referees straighten it out. It's against Canyon. So push the ball back to the Cougar 24 and a new possession here to start this fourth quarter. 9:15 left to go in the ball game. Handoff up the middle is Colbreth. Plowing forward to the 30, gain of 6 on first down.
Colbreth certainly has had a good showing in this game and in the previous game. As we look at his numbers, 6 carries, 26 yards. Not a bad night at the office, all considered.
Steele will take a timeout. And Roland, we've talked when we saw the emergence of Owen Worley after the third, fourth game of the year. We said it'd be great if you could develop a 1-2 punch with Seth Haney. And as the year's gone on, I think what Coach Muchigimba has seen is we have deeper talent in our running back pool. How do we get everybody on the field? And I think the solution to that is move Owen more into a blocking capacity. As we've seen him this year, you keep feeding the ball to Haney, and now you make Nathan Colbreth your number 2 back.
And when you quit keying on Owen, what happens? He gets free down the field, hauls
That's
in
right.
a nice catch. So he's still proven to be a very viable offensive weapon in this Cougar arsenal. Now, that being said, one thing I'm noticing is Colbreth is a junior, if I'm correct, as is Worley, as is Seth Haney.
Wishing there's red shirts in high school, right? Have one of these players sit back a year.
that would be neat, but apparently they'll all be back next season as well.
Well, that's a good thing. 2nd down and 4 for Canyon. They give it to Colbreth on a misdirection play to the far sideline, turning the corner at the 30. Unable to shake free of the last tackler. Is going to be about a yard shy of the first down.
Nice pickup that time from Colbreth.
3rd and 1 for Canyon. 8.5 left to go in this ball game. Cougars are moving.
161 rushing yards on the night for Canyon this evening.
Hand off to Colbreth, again up the middle. Should have enough for a first down as he kept his feet going, got to the 35, and it is indeed a Cougar first down.
He did. He just ducked that head and kept those feet driving ahead to get into that first down marker.
Nathan able to move the pile. He stands at 5'6", 150 pounds. Still has some power in those legs. Under now 8 minutes Xavier out of the gun. Colbreth still in. Xavier will keep it up the middle, the 40-yard line. Slips out of a tackle at the 45, still on his feet. Tackled from behind at the 50, driven into Steele territory at the 47. The quarterback keeper for Xavier moves the chains for Canyon. Good run to put them into Steele territory. It's a gain of 18.
Absolutely. Another first down at the feet of number 7.
From the Steele 47-yard line, Colbreth to the left. Receivers here on the near side, Lane Young and David Gonzalez. Heave the ball down the sideline, intended for Gonzalez, overthrew him at the 25.
Yeah, and Gonzalez had a couple of steps on his defender. That would have been a nice pitch and catch.
Kind of got turned around a little bit as that ball was thrown to the back shoulder.
Right.
And Gonzalez was running down the sideline expecting it to be over the shoulder. I got turned around a little bit and unable to hook up. So it'll be second down and 10 from the far hash. Gonzalez in the slot here on the near side. Colbreth once again gets the ball, and he's still going across the 45, dives forward across the 40. What a run by Nathan to the 39.
Absolutely. He broke out of no less than 3 tackles to pick that, to get that gain across the 40-yard line there. Well, actually to the 39 of Steele.
3rd and 2. Give the handoff to Colbreth, coming to the near side. Makes a man miss at the line of scrimmage and barreling his way forward as he lowers the shoulder. Enough for another Cougar first down to the 35-yard line.
And not the biggest back, 5'6", 150 pounds, but just plenty of tough in that young man.
Rare have we seen him roll and get pushed back. It always seems like he moves a pile forward or runs through a defender. Nice hard running by Colbreth. He'll get it again on first down. No, they fake it. Perez is going to go to the far sideline as he is thrown back. They'll stop forward progress as he was somehow able to slip out of that. But they'll give him a loss of 1 at the 36.
Yeah, that time that Steele defense was waiting, but here again, fortunate to just be a loss of 1.
6 minutes left to go in the ball game. Canyon down a 42-17. Driving, ball resting at the Knight 36. Colbreth to the right of Perez. 2 receivers to the top of the field, rolling that way. Perez delivers it, and that ball is in and out of the hands of Connor Renault. 5'7", 150-pound senior receiver. Unable to haul that in. It'll be 3rd and long.
Just a little out of Connor's reach that time.
Cougars are now 6 of 14 on 3rd down conversions, able to improve that number as the night has gone along. And this one less than desirable at 3rd and 11. Handoff fake. Perez keeps it, and he is bottled up with nowhere to go. Driven back. They'll give him a loss of 1 officially, and it'll be 4th and 12. And, well, what do you do here, Roland? It doesn't really matter if you punt to pin Steele back. Roll the dice here and try to convert on 4th and 12.
Offense looks to still be in the ball game, and why not? What do you have to lose?
See what play they have here. Cougars 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions. Perez rolling to the right. Looking downfield with time. Lets it go. Down the seam. That ball in and out of the hands of his receiver. I believe that's Renault once again. So 2 times down that sideline and 2 times nothing to show for it. And Canyon will turn the ball over on downs.
And just under 5 minutes left to go in this one. See if we can pass along some district scores to you here in just a couple of minutes as we get them updated.
Had a nice possession going there. Took over 4 minutes off the clock. Did that drive. Isaiah Moore, 159-pound, a sophomore quarterback. The backup to a freshman, trots out onto the field. Ingram to his left. Give the ball to Ingram. Coming up to the near side, and he is drilled as soon as he got past the 40-yard line. Tackle made by J.C. Robledo after a gain of 4.
Well, there's a couple of scores to pass along. Things starting to separate just a bit. New Braunfels over East Central 44-7. That's with 4:01 left to go in the fourth quarter. I'll pass along some others here in just a moment.
2nd down and 6 for Steele. Moore gives it to Ingram. Left side. Runs into the open arms of number 41 for Canyon. That is Mason Coons. And Coons drills him down. Big hit there by Mason as Ingram gets to the 44.
A couple other scores. Judson on top of Wagner now with 8:42 left to go in the third quarter. 35-14, the Rockets lead the Thunderbirds. And Ben Campos, tell me if you've seen this before. 4:06 left to go in the ball game. The score is now Clemens 13, Smithson Valley 10.
Never, ever, ever rule out Smithson Valley in any scenario. 3rd and 3 for Steele. Give it to Ingram. Tries the left side, and there is nothing doing there. What a tackle coming in. I believe that's Fansteele. 13 making initial contact. No gain for Ingram, so it'll be 4th down and 2. And we'll see what Steele likes to do here.
Fansteele, we call his name so many times every game. The young man just loves to play the game, and it's obvious.
Offense stays on the field. Ingram to the left of Moore. Moore, keeper, left side with running room. Across the 50 into Cougar territory as a 1st down. To the Cougar 47-yard line, move the chains for Steele.
Good call, good run that time by the Knights quarterback.
You could tell the Cougar defense really keying in there on Ingram, the running back. And Moore made a good read and got to the outside where there was room. 1st and 10, Steele, under 3 minutes now in this ball game. Smithson Valley, I believe, rolling down in that ball game 13-0 at the half. And able to get back into it. Hand off to Ingram on 1st down. Tries the left side. Across the 40. Shy of the, 45 will be shy of the 40 on a good run there on 1st down. So it's 42-17 here on the Cougars Network. If you want to catch that call of Smithson Valley and Clemens, our sister network, the Rangers Network, having that call from Smithson Valley. All part of the good things going on at Comal ISD and their collaboration with Wick Productions.
And it's great to be a part of it, I must tell you.
2nd and 5, Ingram with the stutter step at the line of scrimmage, hits the hole with some speed across the 35-yard line to the 29. As Terrence Ingram, the bulk of the carries here, it's a gain of 13 and a Knight 1st down.
And that'll move the chain. The clock continues to run.
Minute 40. Even with the 1st down, the clock mercifully goes.
I guess it'll be back to the drawing board for the Cougars for next week, and things don't get an awful lot easier.
Those Smithson Valley Rangers that I just said, never count them out. They'll come and knock in next week as Steele gets into their victory formation. Ingram under center, takes the snap. There's illegal movement. I don't think the referees are going to call it, though, not being that strict with a minute 10 left. A couple more kneel downs, and that will end this ball game. So some drama going on there, up there in the hills. Smithson Valley clawing back into that game versus Clemens. As once again, Canyon will look to have a bounce-back game against the very tough Smithson Valley Rangers back home.
And an update from just down the road in Spring Branch. Now the Clemens Buffaloes extended that lead to 16-10 with 2 minutes left in the game.
I'll know what I'll be listening to on my way home as Steele takes a kneel down here. That should do it as we are now under 30 seconds. So both teams retreating to their sideline. A hard-fought ball game for both teams. as the crowd on both sides giving a good ovation. Had a good crowd here on the near sideline and a good representation on the far sideline as well for those Cougar faithful making the trip down I-35. The final seconds bleeding off this clock, and this game is officially in the books. Our final score, Steele 42, Canyon 17. We'll step aside when we come back. Post-game coverage from Lehnoff Stadium. You're listening to Canyon Football on the Cougars Network.
Did you ever play Tetris as a kid?
Yes, I did.
Watch out.
I couldn't find a chain for you guys, but I got my necklace from the car.
It's starting to feel like a home. Welcome to your new house.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe they turned that into a house.
Watch FYI, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 132. GVTC, just plain smart.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
And welcome back to Lehnoff Stadium. Our final score, Steele 42, Canyon 17 right now, and a good sign of sportsmanship as we see at midfield. Both teams have gone through the lines to give handshakes and tell each other good game. Now they sit down and kneel in prayer at midfield. A good sign of respect. A hard-fought game on both sides. Canyon just on the short end of this one. Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you in post-game coverage alongside the Governor Austin Milam, our spotter statistician. And Roland, 42-17, we could play the what-if game. We certainly played it at halftime. Ultimately, there's a lot of talent on this Steele team, and you could draw up a good game plan, and I thought the Canyon coaching staff did that. You could try your best to execute that game plan to the best of your ability. The Cougars did that. It's just tough overcoming that amount of talent.
Executing the game plan, I've got to go along with you there, and I think one of the telling statistics, if we take a look at stats here in just a couple of minutes, one of the telling statistics, we had mentioned that coming into district play, that Canyon had cut down the amount of penalties they were picking up per game. It was an average of about 4 for 40. Tonight, only 2 penalties for the Cougars for 21 yards, which, I mean, was leaps and bounds. It seemed like at the beginning of the season, they were getting the hanky dropped on them quite a bit. So certainly a bit more discipline in the game. You really didn't see an awful lot of miscues in tonight's ball game. Either offensively and defensively for Canyon. It was just a question, as you mentioned, this Steele bunch is just revved up.
A lot was made in pregame about this 2-4 start for Steele, but who do they lose to? Lake Travis, O'Connor, Smithson Valley, and Judson, 4 of the powerhouse teams in the I-35 corridor from Austin to San Antonio. You look at their schedule going forward as they have now improved their record to 2-2 in district as they poise themselves or put themselves into a position to make a playoff run to qualify for playoffs to start. They will be on the road to play East Central and then Wagner, the 2 teams that are winless in district, followed by their rivalry game back here at Lehnoff Stadium, officially a road game, quote-unquote, for Steele as they play the Clemens Buffaloes in the season finale. So the road a lot easier on the way out than it was on the way in for Steele, and they'll look to push forward in 2017. For the Canyon Cougars, you got to go back to the drawing board, Roland, and you got to get better because that's a good Smithson Valley team coming to Cougar Stadium next week.
It is, and if we could use the old bee in the bonnet term, you know they're going to have one. The final from out in the Spring Branch this evening, the Smithson Valley Rangers down. They lost to the Clemens Buffaloes by a final score of 16-10. Clemens always plays those Rangers tough, though.
Oh, and just unfortunately for Canyon, they had New Braunfels coming off of a tough loss, and now you have Smithson Valley coming off a tough loss as well, your two rivals in district. So let's set the scene and what to expect in District 27 6A. Clemens and Judson are your leaders on top, both of them 4-0 in district play, 7-0 overall. Smithson Valley is anchored in that third spot at 3-1. Now you have the interesting things starting to form for that fourth and final playoff spot. Steele at 2-2, New Braunfels at 2-2, with Steele holding the tiebreaker there. Canyon falls to 1-3 in district, and Wagner will go to 0-4, as well as East Central. So that's a look at our district standings in District 27 6A. Roland, any final thoughts as we close the books here and we look towards Smithson Valley?
Well, it's just little victories that you got to take out of this game if you're the Canyon Cougars and build on them. And certainly try to execute them a bit better next week. And I mean, it's a very easy thing to sit here and say, considering that it's going to be another buzzsaw opponent that's available in this district. I mean, all the teams here, as we say, top to bottom, are just tough in any given night. But you got to just keep your head up and go forward and try to make a good splash here toward the end of the season.
Once again, your final score: Steele 42, Canyon a 17. With the win, Steele improves to 3-4 on their season and 2-2 in district play. With the loss, Canyon drops to 1-6, 1-3 in District 27 6A. Looking at our broadcast schedule next week, as we mentioned, we'll be back at Cougars Stadium as the Canyon Cougars welcome the Smithson Valley Rangers, who are coming off of a loss. Kickoff set for 7:30. Pregame coverage starts on the Cougars Network at 7:15. Once again, your final score: the Steele Knights 42, the Canyon Cougars 17. Now from our broadcast partner this evening, Roland Ruiz. For the Washing Bear, Austin Milam, our spotter statistician, I am Ben Campos, wishing you a good night and a safe drive home from Lehnoff Stadium in Schertz, Texas.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.